Hello, hello, and welcome to Gorilla Cricket South Africa's broadcast of the third international T20 match between India and South Africa. With me is Liam. Thank you very much for joining us for this live digital audio commentary. South Africa, news from the middle. South Africa have won the toss and they have chosen to bowl first. A very bowler-heavy team. India need to win this match to stay in the series. Liam, welcome. Good to see you again. How have you been? What do you think? Can we seal the series today?
I think so. We can actually seal this series. I think if we just did what we did past two games, I think we will be able to do it.
So another smash and grab, another smashing of India's bowlers with the bat. Let's hope that is the case. The players are on the field.
And
Yes,
Rabada's first ball just chucked 2 points for no run. Gaikwad facing the first ball of the innings. And the score 0 for 0 after the first delivery of the game.
So Ruturaj Gaikwad is there with Ishan Kishan. And let's get some... That next ball from Rabada gets just driven into the covers where it's collected by the fielders running back, and they take the first 2 runs. India off the mark, 2 without loss. So Ruturaj Gaikwad.
Sorry, my Wi-Fi just
matches.
Disconnected there.
No problem. 67 runs, a high score of 23 and an average of 13.4. You see a replay there. Wayne Parnell managing to throw down the stumps and the ball just ricocheted out to the covers. So that's why they got those 2. And this next one by Rabada is worked off the hips by Ruturaj Gaikwad down to fine leg, and they take another 2 runs, 4 without loss. So Kagiso Rabada keeping it nice and tight there. Doesn't look like he's had any break, just picked up where he left off. I seem to remember he was a bit expensive in the last match. But you can always count on Kagiso to come back strong, 4 without loss, and 3 balls gone in the first over.
I see they have a deep square.
Rabada in again there, pushed off the back foot to backward point for a single. And oh no, there's no run taken there. 4 without loss is still the score. So Rabada comes in right arm over to the right-hander, and that's a replay of the wicket in Katak. Sorry about that. So Gaikwad is still there. He was caught at backward point, exactly where he drove that last ball. Rabada in over the wicket again to Gaikwad, who just dabs this down into the wicket for no run. Still 4 without loss is the score, and Ishan Kishan at the other end, just watching proceedings, having not faced the ball yet. So they've got a third man and a square leg on the boundary. The rest of the field quite conventional as Rabada comes in again, driven hard to point by Ruturaj Gaikwad for no run. And that's the end of the first over. Good start for Kagiso Rabada and the Proteas, 4 without loss. We hope Liam can join us again soon. Yes, there we go. He's back.
Let's get to the other Wi-Fi quickly, because no
worries.
Just trying to get the CV up and running again.
No worries. Once you get back, just tell me what you see and I'll sync up from my side. As we see, the full crowd is in attendance here at or there at the Visakhapatnam Stadium in India. and we are based here in Gauteng. Liam, you're also in Gauteng, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we had a very nice winter's day here today, a little bit warmer than usual. We have our first comment here from Chepo Taela, and Wayne Parnell, left arm, will carry on the attack. Here he goes to Ishan Kishan, left arm over, defended back down the pitch for no run. He says, this is Chepo now. How's it, gents? Lekker, Liam, great to see you. Pitch looking rather bouncy. True bounce looks good for batting. And that seems to be the case so far. Nothing, no real
Parnell
movement from Kagiso Rabada. Go for it.
and Parnell into Ishan Kishan and just smacks it over long off for a 4.
Good shot there by Ishan Kishan. And
So
was that ball a bit too full?
I think there
But
was
it was a
kind
good
of a
shot
half
by
volley,
Yeah.
a bit of half volley,
So he just,
and just puts it away.
yeah, just a nice drive shot over mid off for 4. See a replay now. Nice seam presentation by Wayne Parnell, mid off, excuse me. So he swatted that from outside the off stump, too short by Parnell, and gave
Parnell
Ishan
into
Kishan the
Kishan,
time.
and it went just to square leg for a quick single. Score 9 for no loss after 1.3 overs.
Quick throw in there from Riza Hendricks, but Gaikwad making his ground safely at the striker's end, not without loss, as you said there, Liam. So the South African team is Themba Bavuma, Riza Hendricks, Dwayne Pertorius, Rassie van der Dussen, Heinrich Klaasen, David Miller, Wayne Parnell and Kagiso Rabada, of course, opening the bowling, Keshav Maharaj, Anrich
And Parnell
Nortje, and
into
Tabrez
Gaikwad,
Shamsi.
and he just smashes this to a mid-wicket area for a quick single and scores 10 for no loss after 1.4 overs.
Now that was a cracking shot, but straight to the fielder there from Gaikwad. Ishan Kishan now back on strike. Both batsmen on
5 runs.
5. Kishan is on 5 of 3, and Gaikwad 5 of 7. No extras yet. 2 balls then.
Parnell
And
into Kishan, and
from
he
the second
just
over,
misses it.
just past the outside edge there, snorter of a ball. He did get some movement away there. Parnell left arm over the wicket, just managing to get some away movement. Looked like it moved a little bit through the air, but definitely some seam movement off the pitch there. Good signs for Parnell and the Proteas, of course. Ria Weideman says, hey, everybody, thanks for commentary. Appreciated. Thank you, Ria. And as Chepo said, and we appreciate you, Ria. Very nice to hear from our fans. You can comment on YouTube or Facebook. As we see the next delivery.
My DC just cut out. Just need to try and
Oh,
again.
just defended by Ishan Kishan, the left-hander, 2 point, and there's no run. 10 without loss after 2 overs. Parnell is very animated. Not sure what he's saying, but he seems to be venting his frustrations there. I'm not sure what he's frustrated about, because that was quite a neat over from the left arm medium fast bowler for South Africa. And yeah, it's with that selection of Shamsi and Maharaj, the Proteas must think that there's some turn in this wicket. So we'll see if they can come through. Rabada continues now. And he gets charged by Ruturaj Gaikwad. He only manages to waft at fresh air, and it's through to the keeper Klaasen for no run, and just bounces over the off stump there. Close call for Ruturaj Gaikwad as he double stepped Rabada, but didn't manage to connect. Rabada comes in right arm over to the right-hander. Fuller now, inside edge, beats the man in the ring at fine leg, and it goes to the fine leg boundary for 4. Good delivery, bad result, but yeah, almost getting the ball off the inside edge onto the stumps there. Gaikwad just hanging his bat out too far from his body. let's see. Now, just misjudged the line there a little bit. There wasn't any movement that I could see. So beating the man at fine leg in the ring. 4-14 without loss side, and it goes out to cover for no run. This is even better now from Rabada, despite having conceded the boundary. He's looking very focused, this Kagiso Rabada. So they still have square leg and third man on the boundary, mid off, mid on. Cover, extra cover, Rabada in again. This one is onto the pads of Gaikwad, and he lifts this over square leg for a beautiful 6. It was in front of square, beating the man on the boundary. And that's a very nice shot, timing all the way there from Gaikwad. As we see a replay there, 2 full.
To watch the game again.
Okay, no worries. Rabada in again, and this time he gets it on a good length. It just bounces up and hits the shoulder of the bat, goes to backward point for a single. And it's now 20-21 without loss. And that is is that the end of the third over? No, they're changing the field, I think, for the left-hander. Yeah, 1 ball to go in the third. 21 without loss. Chepo says, very little grass on the pitch. You rate Temba will bowl out Cash and or Shamsi. What do you think, Liam? Do we get 8 overs of spin from the Proteas today?
You never know. With them, anything is
possible. We'll have to wait and see. Ishan Kishan defends this one, and it squirts off an inside edge to square leg for a single. End of the third over, 22 without loss. And India run rate 7.33. Ishan Kishan 6 of 6, and Ruturaj Gaikwad 16 of 12. Both men have scored a 4 for India, and Gaikwad that beautiful 6 over square leg in front of square. And it's something I was thinking about earlier today before the game started, was that we've been calling for the South African batsmen to make a contribution. It's been the bowlers that have sort of carried the team in the past year or year and a half or so, past few series. And this series so far, the T20s, they have done exactly that. The batsmen have stepped up. Okay, great. So we see Parnell will continue his second over now. He's going to go to Ishan Kishan, the left-hander.
So Parnell into Ishan Kishan, and he just blocks this into back. Into backward point for no run.
He remains on 6 of 7 deliveries now. The left-handed open for India, the left-handed Parnell coming over the wicket. And once again, the batsman charges the bowler. Ishan Kishan just manages to get that. Parnell saw him coming away to square leg for a single. No, they took 2 runs there, I think, down to the boundary. Good reaction by Parnell. Good. Yeah, so that's a good fielding by Nortje there. Manages to stop the ball, but he slid past it and then had to get up and throw, so they take 2. And it's 24 now without loss. Parnell over the wicket to the left-hander. Storms down the wicket once again. Ishan Kishan, this time he gets only fresh air. And the ball misses the stumps through to the keeper, no run. Kishan is now on 8. And Gaikwad at the other end on 16. Now, Parnell also looking sharp here. Well on top of his game, it looks like. Just pulling it back here for South Africa. Comes in once again to the left-hander, outside off stump on a good length and driven. And the ball goes down to the third man boundary. And they come through for 2. Good running there. went quickly to the boundary, but they took the 2 runs, and it's 26 without loss now. Kishan into double figures. He's got 10. How's your feed looking there? Are you winning?
It cuts off all the time, like
Oh dear.
on for like 2-3 minutes and like just cuts off. Like
Oh no. Parnell in
yeah,
again, left arm over the wicket to the left-hander, driven very nicely, a bit uppish, but straight to mid-on. And did they take a quick single there? Yes, they did. Good opportunistic running there from Ishan Kishan and Gaikwad. I don't know who called that run. Must have been Kishan because it went past Gaikwad. So a good call there by the batter, taking that single, 27 without loss. So they're showing us the pitch map now of the Pacers to Ishan Kishan, probably in the series. And it's all around a good length there, few short balls. Tonight they've gone a little bit on the shorter side, and the other clips were from the second T20 on Sunday. So South Africans seem to have some kind of plan here. Gaikwad on strike. They've got a long on the boundary now. The ball goes to that man as it beats the man at mid-wicket inside the ring, and they only get a single. 28 without loss now. And Kishan on strike. Gaikwad is 17 runs to his name. He will get the strike. That was the end of the 4th over. Very good over there by Parnell. Have you got the stats there?
I got it's 28 after 4 overs. Parnell Nortje coming into the attack now. Gaikwad 17 of 13 and Ishan Kishan 11 of 12 of 11. Sorry, 11 of 11, and it's a 7-run rate at the moment.
Now that last over by Parnell only conceding 6 runs, and Kagiso Rabada being replaced by Andrich Nortje. So fair start. South Africa have managed to keep the ball away from the boundary so far, but it's a pattern that we've seen. The batters trying to go after the bowlers in the 4th or the 5th and the 6th over, the last 2 overs of the power play. So hopefully Nortje doesn't get too much stick here. He comes right arm over now to Gaikwad, the right-hander. Doesn't seem to be any significant changes in the field. Wide outside off stump, and Gaikwad just leans onto his back foot and smokes that one to the point boundary. What a shot there by Gaikwad. A bit too much width for Nortje there, and the score moves on to 32.
Yeah.
So Tsepo Taela on YouTube says, what's lovely is that the batting has improved and the bowling hasn't diminished in quality. The team looks like it's finally clicking. We're definitely getting the best out of our players. Ria asks if Quinton is playing. I didn't see him in the lineup. I don't think so.
No, he's not.
This one is Fuller, and it is across the line, swat by Rutaraj Gaikwad down to the long on boundary for 4. Dances down the wicket and manages to get to that delivery and sends it running over the boundary for 4. So once again, the batsman attacking the 5th over of the power play, 5th over of the match there. Mid on was inside the ring for the right-hander, and it just went past to the right of that mid-on fielder to the long on boundary for 4. Good shot by Kishan. A little bit inside half of the bat. I think if the mid-on was a bit wider, you could have caught that. As Nortje comes in again, and this time it's a bouncer. What a delivery by Nortje. He's fired up. He fires that into the chest of Gaikwad, but Gaikwad manages to steer that down to the 3rd man boundary for 4. And score now 40 without loss. Gaikwad moves on to 29 of 16 deliveries.
16.
And yeah, Kishan there on 11 of 11. Good stuff there. So 12 off the over so far, and only 3 balls bowled.
It was off his helmet's grill.
What? Oh dear. Okay, so he scored that shot with his, he scored those four runs with his helmet. So the ball went very fine down to third man. He seems to be okay. Ruturaj Gaikwad, he fell down, he fell backwards as he leant back to try and work that ball up and over the keeper. But the bouncer struck him on the grill, and his helmet's fine. He's fine. He's back up. You see another replay here. This one went onto the leg stump line and just kept coming back at him.
Yeah. And Nokia into Gaikwad,
Just
and he just works it off
kept
his
on
legs
tightening up on him.
for
Oh, and
to the long on region.
yeah,
He
Rabada sliding after
expensive
that
over
delivery.
16 or 4
Yes,
balls.
this is a super expensive over here. 20 runs for 16 or 4 balls. Yeah, 16 runs so far, 44 without loss. Gaikwad cashing in here on Nokia. That one too full and onto the legs. And Gaikwad just leans on it and sends it smashing through the fielders at mid-on and mid-wicket inside the ring. Perfectly in between, and Rabada couldn't cut it.
Nokia in again to
Nokia in
Gaikwad. He
again.
just works this to third man, and it is a 4.
Very nice shot there by Gaikwad. Short and on off stump, and he just
Leans
worked it.
onto it.
Yeah, just worked it off the back foot, dabbed it down into the ground. No danger of a catch there. Third man in the ring, and it goes past that fielder to the boundary for 4.
That
Was
was
a
a bit
little
too
bit back of
short.
a length. Yeah, too short and gave him enough time. And whoa, we see them half a chance
Shamsi.
there for the fielder at third man in the ring. Just dipping on him and went to the left of Shamsi there at third man inside the circle. So almost a chance there, but he didn't quite time his movements, Shamsi there.
And Nokia into Gaikwad for the last ball to over, and he just misses this into Heinrich Klaasen's hands. And no run, 48 for no loss after 5 overs.
A 20 run over by Andrich Nokia. He must be seething. And he gave India a bit of a break there. Run rate now up to 9.6 after it was hovering around the 7 mark. And we thought we might have a cheap power play, but Gaikwad had other ideas. Some good shots, but missing his line and length there, Nokia.
I think maybe bring like Maharaj in now for the last over of the power play. Just see what happens.
Geez, that'll be a brave call, eh? I'm not sure if I agree with that, but let's see. I mean, Norkia was by far the worst of the bowlers so far. Hopefully, he can bring it back.
And
It'll be interesting
Pretorius
to
into
see if
attack.
India have now smashed him out of the attack.
Pretorius
Interesting, right? So the right arm, Dwayne
Ishan Kishan
Pertorius. Hmm?
into Ishan Kishan, and he just smashes this to a mid-on or mid-wicket area for a single. Score 49 for no loss.
Just straight to the man at mid-off there for the left-hander, straight to the fielder, and they take a quick single. Ishan Kishan moves on to 12. And Gaikwad will now face Pretorius. Pretorius will probably change. He went round the wicket to the left-hander. He'll probably go over the wicket now.
And Pretorius
Second
in,
ball.
and Gaikwad just works this off to mid-wicket, and it's just a dot.
Yeah, no run there. Straight to the fielder. Again, the ball coming in, that previous delivery, Dwayne Pertorius managed to tail it into the left-hander, and this one he tailed it into the right-hander, and it went straight to the fielder at mid-wicket inside the circle for no run. Still 49 without loss.
I have a square leg out on the boundary. I'm surprised actually about that.
No, there's a bit of a break in play as Bavuma adjusts his field. And he goes back to the cover boundary, I think. Dwayne Pertorius in again.
Pretorius, Gaikwad, and he just kind of pushes this to mid-on for a single.
50 up there for India. And let's see that those 50 runs came at 9 runs and over off
33 balls.
5 overs and 4 balls. 33 balls, yes. 33 balls. And Ishan Kishan now on strike facing Dwayne Pertorius around the wicket.
And he just smashes this to long off for a single.
Now the left-hander, another quick single there. Good shot, went straight to long on for the left-hander, but they only managed a single as it was sent straight to Riza Hendricks there. No, he's at mid-on. It's not at long on, so that went straight to him. Okay, so Pertorius to the right-hander.
And Gaikwad just flicks this off the pads.
Oh, just over the head of square leg. Just over the head of the man at square leg. The fielder there jumping up in the air to try and take the catch. Gaikwad almost in trouble there, almost a carbon copy of the 6 he hit against Kagiso Rabada, but this time it didn't go to deep and wicket. It went over the head of the man there on the boundary. So he was looking at that, hoping that it would get some legs and make it over the fielder, and it did by some margin in the end. Not as close as I first thought, as Gaikwad readies himself for the next delivery.
Pretorius into Gaikwad and just pushes this to the mid-wicket area for a dot. So end of the 6th over, 57 for no loss after the power play, current run rate 9.5.
Very good power play at the end.
23. Ishan Kishan on, I didn't see.
He's on 13 of 13. So Nortje conceding 20 runs in his first over. Dwayne Pertorius going for 9 in his first over. So we've had 3 good overs from Kagiso Rabada, the first one, and then 2 from Parnell, and then Kagiso Rabada's second over, as well as Nortje's first and Dwayne Pertorius' first. A bit on the expensive side, Nortje going for 20 runs in the 5th, and a good power play performance from India. They've got 53 runs on the board. Let's see when the spinners are going to come in. Yes, Shamsi has the ball. He's replacing Anrich Nortje, so India did manage to get rid of Nortje. No indication there that Bavuma wanted to give him another shot. Shamsi left arm over the wicket to the left-hander. Drives this past the man at backward point inside the ring. They've got a third man and a backward point inside the circle there. They come back for the second as the fielder on the boundary ran around to clean that up. And it's 59 without loss for India now. Excuse me, that 52 I read was the last 5 overs. So the score is 58 without loss now for India. See a replay there.
Close and catch.
Yeah, it's about 20, 30 centimeters over the head there. Kishan facing Shamsi, sweeps that one straight to square leg, and the fielder is there, so they just take a single. 60 without loss now. Sorry, Liam, is your feedback?
Yeah, it's back.
Okay, great. So you can go back onto ball by ball. Run rate now 9.3. Let's see if we've got any tweets we can mention. I'll read Chepo's comment on YouTube in a moment.
Shamsi into Gaikwad, and Gaikwad just works this to the leg side for a single. But I must
good
say,
stuff there from Rutaraj. Good turn there from Shamsi.
Yeah, I just think if we maybe get 1 or 2 quick wickets in the next over or 2, I think we will be in a good position.
Yeah, South Africa do need
Shamsi,
those wickets desperately at the moment.
Shamsi into Ishan Kishan and just sweeps this to the leg side. At least there was a field on the boundary and they just get a single.
Mm. That previous delivery by Shamsi pitched on off and turned into the right-hander. That one would have been a good delivery to a right-hander. It was pitched outside leg for the left-hander, and he swept it very, very nicely timed. But there's a fielder there, so they only get the single.
Shamsi into Gaikwad and Gaikwad just works this to mid-on for a single.
Now, mid on the boundary, ran up to cut that off almost at the edge of the circle. So good rotation of the strike, 63 without loss. So we wait for this next delivery from Shamsi's first over.
Shamsi into Ishan Kishan and he just sweeps this to the deep point area for boundary.
Now, good reverse sweep there from Ishan Kishan. Saw it early, made the decision early, waited for the delivery to leave the hand. No chance of Shamsi changing his delivery. And that one was on the leg stump of Gaikwad, but not enough. Gaikwad managing to get far enough forward. And everybody on that leg side, inside the ring behind square, inside the circle behind square. So good shot there by Ishan Kishan, the left-hander. Oh, no, that was Gaikwad, wasn't it?
No, it's Kishan.
It was Kishan, yeah, it was a reverse sweep. So 7 overs gone, 67 without loss, and Dwayne Pertorius is allowed to continue. As Chepo Tahela says, Nortje's last over puts a big question mark over using him in the power play. All that pace makes it easy for him to travel even after a good ball that the batter can't control. So let's see. They've got what looks like a long on the boundary as Perez comes in.
So Gaikwad and Gaikwad just works this to long on for a single.
Another single taken there. We see a replay of the final delivery of Shamsi's first over. Just a dismissive reverse sweep there from Ishan Kishan. That was a good shot. Now, so they've got the third man and the backward point inside the circle for Shamsi, or they had. So Kishan, the left-hander, will now face Dwayne Pertorius, and the second ball of the 8th over to come. Pertorius round the wicket.
Into Ishan Kishan and he just works this 2-point, the third points area for a no run.
Now there's a fielder inside the circle there. Couldn't quite control that shot. He wanted to play that risky sort of cut shot, but I think he must have been deceived by the pace and the bounce there.
The length
could have been a slower delivery. We'll see. They show us a replay. So Dwayne Pertorius well into his stride now. Looking a lot better.
Throws into Ishan Kishan. Ishan Kishan just goes for the shot and gets dropped on the boundary by Van der Dissen, and they take a quick two runs.
Yeah, Rassie van der Dissen came running in as Kishan tried to play that across the line into the onside, took a leading edge, went high up into the air. Rassie van der Dissen misjudging the flight there a little bit. Let's see. The ball went out of the lights, and as it came down, oh no, he didn't reach the ball there. Not a real chance of a drop there.
Kishan just working this to the leg side to deep point for a single. Score 71 for no loss after 7.4 overs.
Yeah, the Rassie van der Dissen came running in. I don't know if he moved late or if it was just too far away from him, but it bounced about halfway between the boundary and the circle. So Rassie van der Dissen came running in, but the ball bounced well in front of him, so just couldn't get to that chance. But only the single conceded.
To Gaikwad.
One.
And Gaikwad just nicks this to final leg for a boundary.
He tried to sweep Dwayne Pertorius there. Ruturaj Gaikwad got beaten by the bounce, got the top edge, but it went over a fine leg for 4. If he shot there, I don't know what he was thinking. It was an off cutter by Dwayne Pertorius. He tried to fetch that Gaikwad outside off stump with the sweep.
Maybe he wanted to go for the
And
slog sweep.
yes, that looked like that was his plan.
Pertorius into Gaikwad and just works this too long on for a single. End of the
So
8th over, 76 for no loss, run rate of 9.5. Gaikwad on 48 of 28 and Ishan Kishan on 24 of 20 deliveries.
yeah, except for that 4, it was quite a decent over by Dwayne
Over.
Pertorius, but in the end, 9 runs off it once again. So he's conceded
can,
18 now in his 2.
and as you can see, Nokia, the most expensive bowler of the 5 bowlers at the moment.
Yeah, no, he got absolutely smashed. So that 1-4 that came off the helmet was judged a bye. So Nokia officially conceding 16 runs, but the 4 going down as extras. So yeah, let's give that to Nokia because it
Shamsi
was a
back into the attack.
good bouncer. Yeah, he
Shamsi back into
continues.
the attack. Into Gaikwad, and Gaikwad double steps this and just works this to mid-on for a single.
So Shamsi conceded 10 runs in his first over, but it looked like he got some turns. So Bavuma has no choice really. There's a very bowler-heavy side, but with the 2 spinners, if he doesn't bowl more than 5 or 6 overs of spin, we need to ask why were there 2 spinners in the side in the first place.
And it's already a 77
so,
partnership at the moment.
no, they are rocketing along.
49 deliveries.
Yeah.
Shamsi into Ishan Kishan and just works this to the leg side for a single.
Yeah, deep mid wicket comes running in. 2 runs off the first 2 balls. Ruturaj Gaikwad now strike with score on 78 without loss. The last 5 overs going for 11 runs and over, 55 runs. India have really stepped on the gas here since the 5th over that they got from Nokia. Well, it was Nokia that got them going.
Shamsi into Gaikwad and double steps this, works this to mid wicket and for a single, and that's the 50 up for Gaikwad of only 30 deliveries.
50 runs. Yes, 6 fours, 2 sixes, strike rate of 166.66.
First 50
repeating.
in T20.
Well done, sir. Yeah, this is his 7th match. I'm not sure if they include this current match in the figure of 6 that I'm seeing here. But yeah, his highest score. And his previous highest score was, I think, 23, if I recall. Average on now of 22.6. Okay, so this is his 6th match.
Into Ishan Kishan and just smashes this to a deep extra cover for 6.
What a shot there by Ishan Kishan. That's deep mid wicket for the left-hander. He went and just down on one knee and hands through the ball. A lovely shot there by Ishan Kishan. If there were somebody there, it would have been caught. It went low over the boundary, but good shot. They're checking now to see if it was a 6. It was. So that is another 6 runs to Ishan Kishan, 85 without loss. Kishan is on 31.
And Shams into Ishan Kishan and just reverse sweeps this to square leg. To point, but no run.
Yeah, that is backward point for the left-hander. It was a full toss by Shamsi. Maybe the ball slipped out of his hand, but Ishan Kishan reverse sweeping that straight to the man at backward point.
Just see a quick replay of the 6 of Ishan Kishan.
Powerful
and Shamsi
shot there.
into Ishan Kishan, and he just sweeps this to leg side boundary and for 4. End of the 9th over.
Yeah.
89 for no loss after 9 overs. Current run rate 9.89 and over. Ishan Kishan on 35 of 24 and Gaikwad 50 of 30.
And that 4 meant that that last over went for 13. Shamsi has now conceded 23 runs off his first 2 overs. And he's missing his lines here, is Shamsi. Missing his lengths as well. Bowled a full toss to Kishan. That 6 was outside leg with a reverse sweep, making Shamsi pay. So,
And
yeah,
Maharaj
not
into the
ideal
attack.
here from Shamsi. This
Maharaj
better
into the
work
attack.
for Babuba.
I think we're gonna chase here at around about 200 again, like the first T20, I think.
Yeah, they're scoring at over 10 runs and over now, 10.1.
Yeah.
Let's see what Maharaj
Maharaj
can do.
into Gaikwad, and he just slaps this over to deep extra cover for 4.
Very nice shot there. Gaikwad using his feet, getting to the pitch of the ball. Keshav Maharaj left arm around the wicket. And there's not much you can do when the batsman is in this kind of form. Tepo Tahela saying wickets looking hard to come by. Certainly does look that way. But the South African bowlers not doing themselves any favors at this point.
Maharaj into Gaikwad and just works this to the leg side to square leg for a single. I mean, in the last 11 balls, only 1 dot ball.
Yeah, that's absolutely shocking bowling from Shamsi there in that last over, I would say. And
Yeah.
Maharaj not looking too spiffy either.
Yeah, current run rate is 10.07. Maharaj into Ishan Kishan and just slaps this to point. But at least it was a field on a boundary, and they just took 2. Is it 2?
Yeah, that was a
No,
single.
single.
Yeah, just
Single.
the one. Yeah, just the one. 95 without loss. Gaikwad now on strike, the right-hander facing up to the left-handed Keshav Maharaj. Making some changes to his field,
Already
buying
6
himself
runs
some
off 3
time. Yeah, let's see if Keshav can pull this back for his captain and his country.
Maharaj to Gaikwad, and he works this to fine leg, but at least there was a fielder inside the ring and for a dot.
Yeah, no run there. But Keshav Maharaj straying in his line, it would have been wide if Gaikwad didn't hit that.
Maharaj to Gaikwad hits to deep cover for 2 runs. Ooh.
Now, nice running there. Ball went slowly to the boundary. And they got the 2 runs in, 97 without loss. Seems like quite a quick outfield as well. The ball going very quickly to the fielders. No, not many threes on
Maharaj
offer
to
here today.
Gaikwad and takes the catch. That's the first wicket for South Africa.
Gaikwad just spoons this one very gently back to Keshav Maharaj. He had to dive to his right over the wicket and takes the court and bowled. Keshav Maharaj, you beauty. 1 wicket down, 97 runs on the
Takes
board.
the first breakthrough for South Africa.
Yeah, off the last delivery of his first over.
It looked like a much faster ball. I think that would maybe what misjudged him with like playing the ball, maybe topped edged.
Yeah, deceived there. All ends up Ruturaj Gaikwad just bunted it
For
back to
57 off
down the wicket.
35. And it
Yes,
was
indeed. So
162.5 strike rate.
yes, indeed. He played 7 fours and 2 sixes. He was caught and bowled by Keshav Maharaj. Ruturaj Gaikwad is out. And our replacements should be in very soon. Sean B asks, is the ground very small? It looks tiny. Yeah, I mean, Kishan and Gaikwad really are making it look extremely small. As I said, fast outfield as we welcome Ruud to the studio here. Welcome, Ruud. Thanks for very well. Thanks, and you.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so there's a bit of a break in play. What do you think of the match so far, Ruud?
Well, feel we've been a bit straight in our links. Giving India way too many freebies, making the scoring very, very easy. But this last wicket really helps. Hopefully, South Africa can just try to bring some sort of control back into this game and just try to get India under some sort of control. Maybe get Shamsi to really put some pressure onto the new batsman.
Yes, that'll be interesting because that's where Shamsi usually shines, when he can get his deliveries going to a new batsman or a tail ender. That's when he usually does the damage. So hopefully he can do that for South Africa today. So while we wait for Ken, Ruud, Liam and I will keep you company. And thank you everybody out there for listening and keeping us company. Chepo Tahela saying, keen to see Kumar on this pitch. Yes, there was a little bit of team movement for Wayne Parnell. So an accurate bowler here should be rewarded. As we welcome Ken, I'm going to drop off. You guys take wickets. Take 9 wickets in the next 3 overs, please. Enjoy it, guys. See you later.
Cheers, guys. Cheers, guys.
How's it, Ken?
Hello there.
You good?
Greetings. Well, good, thank you. Yourself?
Oh, can't complain. Just got 3 more exams to go, and then we're done with exams for the term, so can't really complain.
Ah, well, tough times. All the best.
Yeah, definitely. As we see Anrich Rokia back into the attack. Anrich Rokia coming back into the attack. His first over going for 16. He's coming around the wicket to Ishan Kishan, who just tries to work this down to third man, but works it straight to point for no run. Do you think this is a good play by South Africa to bring back Anrich Rokia?
I think that first over, his conceding 20 runs was a little bit hard on him. I think he really rattled Gaikwad with his pace. And 2 of those boundaries were certainly not very convincing. One off the helmet and one off the edge of the bat.
Yeah, so definitely a good choice as Anrich Rokia comes into Ishan Kishan, short ball, and it drops in between 2 fielders. Okay, Reza Hendricks running from short mid wicket, and I'm not quite sure who ran from Dick Spiller, landing between the 2 fielders, and Ishan Kishan campers through for a single. Nokia definitely rushing Kishan here with a shorter delivery. Yeah, there's that extra pace we're talking about.
Yeah, it's good to see Nokia after all his injury problems last summer really cranking it up in this series, and considering he doesn't have that much cricket behind him.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I was very glad to see he had a decent IPL after those first 2 games where he didn't really perform, and after those 2 games he really had a solid IPL for the little time that he was playing. As Nokia back into Shaz out to face his first ball, and he just blocks it to a short ball wicket for no run.
Yeah, one of the things that Proteas captain Temba Bavuma will brood over is exactly how to use his spinners, Shamsi and Maharaj, in this match. They have struggled to really make an impact in this series, playing on really small fields, and India have attacked them relentlessly again today. Maharaj, of course, getting that crucial breakthrough though.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's been one thing for South Africa is the poor form of Shamsi. I mean, we were really banking on him on these Indian wickets, and it's been our pace bowlers that have really performed. As Shaz walks across his crease and blocks this one back to Anrich Nokia for another dot ball. As we see Anis Mohammed talking about the exact same thing on YouTube, saying Shamsi been having a horrid series thus far.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's poor form as such. Maybe a bit of rustiness, someone who also hasn't played for a while, but they've been playing on small fields. There hasn't been that much turn, and India have certainly attacked them.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. They've gone after Shamsi, really trying to put him under pressure. As this one is a short delivery from Anrich Nokia into Shaz Iyer, gets a top edge for 6. Once again, that extra pace on the small field, helping the Indians to great effect.
Yeah, that's another thing for Proteas to think about. It's all very well the short pitch barrage, which the batsman might not look very comfortable, but the Proteas aren't really getting a great reward from their efforts. The runs are flowing.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a 60-meter boundary to where this ball went. As Untitled Chapter, final ball of the over, good leg delivery, worked straight to short cover for no run. So still a good over for South Africa in the context of the game. Only 7 runs from it. I think they'll be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, that's not bad, actually. 7 at this stage of the innings. And just a pity, the one boundary given away.
Yeah, no, very good. Untitled Chapter definitely having the better of the 2 batsmen. But still, on this small field, you know, it's more batter's game than a bowler's game at this stage.
Yeah, on these small fields, it does make it hard. You know, any miss hit, any edge, the batsman can get lucky, as India have had quite a lot of fortune in this innings, but also credit to the 2 openers who batted with great intent.
Yeah, no, definitely. As Maharaj back into the attack, coming around the wicket to Ishan Kishan, who works this to deep mid off, for an easy single.
Yeah, Ruturaj Gaikwad, 57 or 35 balls. I think we saw tonight just why he's considered such a talent. And Ishan Kishan, of course, still there on 38 of 28.
Yeah, he's been having a very, very good series so far. India is expecting big things from him in the upcoming World Cup, as this one from Maharaj into Shiraz Iyer, who just blocks it back to Maharaj for no run.
So Maharaj getting a second over after making the breakthrough in his previous over, having Gaikwad caught and bowled. A bit of turn there was there for Maharaj in that wicket.
Yeah, definitely. And I also saw was quite a bit of turn for Shamsi in his second over, although he got hit quite a few times. There was some degree of turn. So India won't mind seeing some turn on this deck if they can just get their spinners to bowl in the right areas. As this one from Maharaj, full toss, and Ishan Kishan just goes on the one knee and just smashes this in between foul corner and deep mid on for another boundary. So not exactly what South Africa wanted, but yeah, not great bowling from Maharaj.
Yeah, Kishan stepped well outside leg stump, and Maharaj not adjusting his line really presented him with a gift hit there.
As this one over the offside for 6 runs. A great shot from Ishan Kishan. Maharaj going wide off the crease and Ishan Kishan going over the top of extra cover. Wide off deep mid off, and it's gone for 6. A great shot from Ishan Kishan. It'll definitely help India at this stage. Was it only 4?
They're reviewing it. I think it's 6. I think it clearly went over the boundary rope. I fancy Maharaj just over pitching there.
Yeah, no, definitely. And you can see with the result, I mean, good over so far, and then a 4 and a 6. Final ball of the over. Again, short, and this one is an edge. Oh, no luck for South Africa, or the luck in India's favor at the moment. That is also Ishan Kishan's 52 of 31 deliveries, and all of a sudden a good over goes to Harit with 16 runs coming from it.
So Gaikwad needing just 30 balls for his 50, and now Kishan just needing 31. India are certainly flying here. 8 overs to go, already 120 for 1, and one has to say that a total of more than 200 very much on the cards here.
Now, Ken, I've got a question for you. As India, what do you favor a good score? Seeing as South Africa chased down that 210 in the first game with an over to spare, what do you see as a good total as an Indian team here?
Well, 9 wickets in hand, 8 overs left. I mean, I think they could get another 100. They'll want at least 220, as you say. South Africa chasing down 211 in the first game, so 100 more in the last 8 overs is definitely on.
Yeah, definitely. I was suggesting that at this stage, with this start, they've at least got to go to 215. As we see Shamsi back into the attack, into Shiraz Iyer, double steps, and it's straight over the top of Tabriz Shamsi's head for another boundary. That's now 4 boundaries in a row. And once again, that small field comes into play, and South Africa can't really do much about that because it's not a bad delivery from Shamsi at all. It's a great shot from Shirazaya.
Well, I think Temba Bavuma a bit unhappy that Shamsi is not bowling straight enough to the batsman, giving him a bit of width to free his arms there.
As this one short from Shamsi, just cut into to deep point for a single. Much better result for South Africa after 4 boundaries. So this India obviously showing intent, showing that they've got batsmen in the shed. They want to go for it now. You think Ishan Kishan are just going to go for it, and this is just what we're going to see for the rest of the innings. Shamsi again into Ishan Kishan, who goes on the slog sweep, but sweeps it straight to deep square leg for only a single.
Yeah, India have got to. They've got to go hell for leather, really, because they've got those 9 wickets in hand. And this is the period when they can really bat South Africa totally out of the match.
And they bat a lot deeper than South Africa do. I mean, South Africa only going in with the 5 batsmen. And Shamsi again into Shirazaya, and there's a big appeal. Shirazaya stepping across his wickets, and it's been given out. Shirazaya walking across his wickets. You could see the leg stump, and it's hit him on the roll of his front leg. Shirazaya has gone for the review. What do you think? Only bat saving him, I would say.
Yeah, and I think he might have got a bit of bat or glove on this, actually. Just didn't quite look right to me. Maybe did it pitch outside leg stump? It might just be on. I think it might have brushed the glove. Aya was very quick to review this.
Oh, that's very close to the glove indeed. So Shreyas are going for a slog sweep, and he's missed the ball, and there is some glove on it. So he's right in front of his wickets. He stepped across, and this has hit him straight in front of middle stump, but he has gotten some glove on it, so it won't be given out. Great review from Shreyas Iyer, and South Africa will not be happy with that, thinking they had their man and the decision being overturned.
Yeah, I would have known straight away that he'd punched it onto his pad there. As Temba Bavuma and Tabriz Shamsi just have a quick word. Shamsi really using the towel a lot. He's sweating quite a bit. It's obviously very hot and humid in Visakhapatnam. Maybe having a bit of difficulty gripping the ball.
Yeah, and especially on the small field, and with 2 in batsmen, he wants to get every bit of advantage that he can, and a slippery hand definitely won't help his cause in trying to get one of these wickets. As we see Tabriz Shamsi, 2 balls left in this over. This over so far going for 8 runs. Can he finish it off with not giving away too many runs? As we can see, Shreyas are wanting to go down the track, and Shamsi seeing this, pitching it short, and Shreyas punches it into the cover region for no run to Temba Bavuma. So 1 ball left of the over. The score 128 for 1 after 12.5. Can Tabriz Shamsi get out of this over without being too much caved? As Shreyas Iyer goes for the sweep, and it's hit straight into the hands of Anrich Nokia at square leg. Shreyas Iyer going onto one leg, taking it from outside off and trying to hit it over the top of square leg. Can't connect it well enough, and it's straight down the throat of Anrich Nokia. Exactly what South Africa needed at this stage.
Well, thank goodness Nokia is 6 foot plus. He did have to reach. He was on his tiptoes and reaching above his head to take that catch. I wonder if it just got stuck in the pitch a bit, that delivery, because I really mistimed the sweep shot rather badly.
It almost looked like a rush that would bounced on him a bit. It looked like he got it on the top of the blade.
Yeah, and played a bit too early as well.
Yeah.
So one just wonders if this pitch is also a bit too paced, like the one in the second T20 in Kutak was as well.
Well, at the moment, that's the first signs of too paced in this deck. I mean, the score says otherwise for the viewers.
Yeah, maybe taking pace off the slower pace of the spinners. Maybe that is going to be more effective on this pitch. As I said, the spinners on both sides really haven't had much to write home about in this series so far.
No, definitely not. I mean, it's been. Oh, we were all thinking that the spinners would be the wicket takers in this tournament, in this tour. But it looks like all the batsmen have gone after the spinners and telling the captains to get an alternative motive. As we see Dwayne Pertorius coming back into the attack, and he goes wide to Ishan Kishan, and it is a wide delivery. Seeing Ishan Kishan come down the track, throws it wider, but just too wide. Not a great way to start the 14th over.
And Shivas Iyer will be pretty frustrated with himself at the moment, out for 14 off 11 today. And got starts in the first two games as well, 40 and 36, without really going on to a big innings. Yeah,
it's been very attacking in this series so far, not trying to put the bowlers under pressure as Ishan Kishan works this one straight to a cover point region for no run. It's been very attacking. So have all the Indian batsmen really, of all wanting to go after the bowlers, trying to put the South Africans under pressure, and really trying to show the intent in both cases in both T20s. Not exactly the second T20, but still showing that intent.
Yeah, it's the way of the modern T20 game. Intent is the buzzword, what every coach wants to see.
As this one worked into the leg side for 1 by Ishan Kishan. They score 130 for 2 after 13.2 overs. Rishabh Pant up to face his first ball. He's had a quiet tour as of late, and he also had a quiet IPL.
Yeah, not everyone in India fully pleased with his captaincy either. So he's under a bit of pressure, the wicketkeeper batsman.
That was definitely a surprise to me. I really thought they were going to pick Hardik Pandya as captain after his success in the IPL.
Yeah, I suppose Pant has been designated as next in line for a while, but Hardik Pandya's wonderful efforts in the IPL certainly brought him into that conversation.
No, definitely. As we see Pant just working this one into the leg side for another single. Yeah, I mean, I really like the way he approached the game for the Gujarat Titans, promoting himself to number 4 and really showing they can also build an innings, and it's not just a big hitter, showing a different side of his game and captaining that side very, very well to actually winning their maiden IPL tournament.
Yeah, and what a cricketer he is. As you say, he can bat different situations, and he can also bowl 140 plus with a lot of skill as well.
As we see Ishan Kishan throwing his bat at a wide one, losing his feet, and it's gone straight down the throat of deep cover. So Pertorius taking the wicket of Ishan Kishan, throwing it wide. Ishan Kishan trying to hit this over the top of cover, losing his footing, and it's straight down the throat of Reza Hendricks at deep cover. It's a slower ball from Dwayne Pertorius, and Ishan Kishan's innings ends on 54 or 35 deliveries.
Yeah, he's really fallen for the sucker blow there. Pertorius with that favourite line of his way outside off stump. If Kishan had left it, it probably would have been a wide. He could barely reach it. He had to throw himself at it, which is why he lost his footing. And now he's lost his wicket as well, and a key time for him to go as a very set batsman in the 14th over.
Yeah, so South Africa really, really putting the brakes on in this innings so far, really bringing India back to a reasonable run rate at this stage after the brisk and early onslaught at the start. So South Africa, what do you think? Hardik Pandya, do you think he's going to play himself in, or do you think the game plan is to go from the start and see how many he can end up with?
Well, a couple of quick wickets, I think, has changed things a little bit for India. I think Hardik can perhaps give himself a few deliveries to get himself in, and just to make sure that he's there come the last 4 or 5 overs, because we all know how much damage he can do at the death.
Yeah, no, definitely. We've seen it multiple times, and India will want him to do that damage. They want him to build an innings, stay there until the end, because if he's there in the 19th and 20th over with his eye in, South Africa are not going to be happy, as we see this one worked towards a short middle off for a quick single.
Yeah, just looking at the Ishan Kishan dismissal again. A really inelegant way to get out for a batsman who's normally very elegant and easy on the eye.
Yeah, no, not one of the dismissals you would want to remember. And I mean, as you said, if you left that, it would have probably been a wide. So it's one of the worst ways to go out if you go off of a wide delivery. As this one worked into the leg side from Rishabh Pant again. Great over from Dwayne Pertorius. Only 5 runs coming from it, and the wicket of Ishan Kishan. The score now 133 for 3 after 14 overs.
Yeah, so after 12 overs, India had exactly 120 for 1, which is a run rate of exactly 10 to the over. And 2 good overs by South Africa, taking a couple of wickets. And that run rate has now come down to 9.5. So trending in the right direction, South Africa. But I imagine Pant and Hardik will just give themselves a little bit of time here, maybe an over and a half, maybe, to make sure they're properly in, and then we'll launch another assault in the last 4 overs.
Now, as South Africa, as Temba Bavuma, do you bring Maharaj in and try to get 1 over of spin in, or do you try and bring Kagiso Rabada in and try to get the wicket of one of these 2 batsmen? If you see Shamsi coming in for his final over, his figure so far 1 for 31 after 3. Oh, and it's a good stumping from Heinrich Klaassen. They've gone up. It's pitched on middle and it's spun. Rishabh Pant going for the sweep shot, missing it, and Heinrich Klaassen has taken the bails off in a matter of seconds. Now, is this gone, or do you think he's safe?
I think he's safe, but they're also just having a little look at caught behind, whether he might have just toe-ended it. Got a little scratch, the top of the bottom of the bat, if you know what I mean. Yeah. I don't think so, though. No, so it is just going to be the stumping, but I think Pant really stretched forward a long way without actually ever leaving his crease, unless he somehow lifted that back leg.
So, do you think Pant just has to get off strike here and try to see out Shamsi, or what do you think the play is here from Rishabh Pant?
No, I think they'll be trying to get a run off every ball at least, but also assessing when they can have a boundary option off Shamsi. If they can get 8 or 9 off this over, they'll be very happy.
Yeah, definitely, especially with 2 wickets that have fallen. As we see Shamsi coming back into Rishabh Pant, second ball of the over. Again, it's a wideish delivery, and it's just cut into the offside. Kagiso Rabada does the cleanup work at sweeper, and it's only 1 run. So Rishabh Pant not going for the second. Do you think that was just lazy running or good fielding by Kagiso?
I think Rabada's got such a bullet arm that batsmen are always quite wary about taking a chance against him.
As we just see a quick...
And
No, go for it.
Well, I just wanted to answer your question about whether Maharaj will come back on. There are only 5 overs left after this one, and Rabada's got 2 left, and Parnell's got 2 left. They'll probably bowl 4 of them, and then I imagine Anrik Nortje will get a 3rd over as well.
As this one is a full delivery from Tabriz Shamsi. Oh no, it's been dropped by David Miller. Tabriz Shamsi, a full delivery. Hardik Pandya going after it, straight up in the air. David Miller at long off, a high delivery. He got settled and he dropped it. Not used to seeing that from David Miller. I cannot believe he's dropped Hardik Pandya on only a run. We do not expect that from David Miller. As this one, Hardik Pandya just getting a top edge, and he thought he was gone for all money. And David Miller has dropped a sitter in his at his standard. Probably not a sitter, but to his standards, that is quite a sitter. As the next ball is just edged off to 3rd man for no run.
Yeah, I think he misjudged it. He almost seemed to not come far enough in, and then he got both hands to the ball, but it just kind of dribbled out the front of his hands. He wasn't all the way underneath it.
It kind of just dipped at the last moment on him. He thought he was under it, and then he had to kind of sprint forward at the last minute, as this one is worked into the offside from Hardik Pandya for a single. One delivery left of the over. But that is a big chance for South Africa. Hopefully they can get Hardik Pandya early, maybe get another chance, but he doesn't give too many options, give too many opportunities. Or are South Africa going to rue that chance?
More than likely.
Oh, no ways. As we see Tabriz Shamsi, one ball left in his spell. His figure so far, 1 for 35. He's coming into Rishabh Pant, who's on 3 or 4. And Pant just punches this into the sweeper region for 1. And that is the end of Shamsi's 4 overs, 1 for 36. The score 138 for 3 after 15 overs.
Shamsi actually did quite well to pull things back towards the end there, because he will just check how many he bowled his first couple of overs for. A lot. He had his first 2 overs cost 23 runs, so he's gone for 13 in his next 2, which is a good effort.
As we've been behind on the YouTube comments, but Arvid says bad move to give Shamsi his 3rd over. Well, luckily it wasn't. Hopefully he did get it. Luckily he did get the wicket of Shreyas Iyer. And he also says SA fielding has been too inconsistent. Dropped a Dolly Miller. Do you think
not South Africa's best. Oh, for Miller, yeah. I think for a fielder of Miller's quality, yeah, absolutely. He'll be furious with himself for dropping that one. Dwayne Pertorius is actually going to bowl the 16th over, so I imagine the last 4 overs will be Rabada and Parnell.
So you don't think they're going for Nokia for another over? As Pretorius into punt, it's a wide outside off. Pretorius going for that favoured wide line, but he's just gone a bit too far again, and it's another wide delivery. You don't think maybe go for somebody like Anrich Nokia is a bad decision?
Well, I just think Rabada and Parnell are your 2 most regular death bowlers. Have got the better skills probably at the death.
Yeah, no, definitely. As this one from Dwayne Pertorius, wide from him. And it's another drop catch from Rassie van der Dussen. It's a wide delivery, another slower ball, almost identical to the one from Ishan Kishan. This one gone straight to deep points, and Rassie van der Dussen has dropped a sitter. That's 2 in the last 2 overs from South Africa.
Oh, goodness. Now, that was a sitter, really. High in the air, came straight down to him. Oh, South Africa really have just not been switched on at their best in the field today.
No ways. You do not expect that from Rassie van der Dussen, as Dwayne Pertorius into Hardik Pandya, who just punches it to short mid-off for a single. Oh no, South Africa, what are you doing? And these are 2 of India's most renowned batsmen, and one of the 2 of the biggest hitters in the squad they've got. And we've dropped them both for single digits.
Yeah, it could be absolutely crucial, really. Massive let-offs for India.
As we see Dwayne Pertorius back into Rishabh Pant, who just works this into the offside for another single. So the score at the moment, 142 for 3 with 3 balls left in the 16th. The run rate has crept down to 9.16. So good bowling from South Africa. Not good fielding, but good bowling.
So yeah, they've created they've created the opportunities to take wickets. Just the fielders haven't backed them up.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's been quite shocking from South Africa. You did not expect them to drop such easy sitters, especially not Van der Dussen and Miller. As this one gone up into the air again, and this one is dropped wide of a sprinting third man, Wayne Parnell. Another wide, slow ball from Dwayne Pertorius, and Hardik Pandya can't get under it. And it's a top edge over the top head of Wayne Parnell for an easy single. As you see,
That the bowlers are doing a good job. Also shown by it's been 3.5 overs since we've had a boundary.
Yeah, as this one from Rishabh Pant straight up in the air. Can it be taken this time? Temba Bavuma does not drop the third time. And it is a good catch from Temba Bavuma running back. It's another slower ball straight up in the air from Rishabh Pant. And he takes a good catch running from short but off to a wide-ish sweeper region. And he takes a good catch. The score 143 for 4 and Rishabh Pant gone for 6 of 8.
Yeah, it was a cutter from Pretorius into the pitch, back of a length. Punt was driving on the up, targeting over mid-on, and it gripped and actually turned the ball, and he ended up getting the outside half of the bat, skewing it up over mid-off, and a good catch by Bavuma, good running catch that.
Yeah, no, very, very good catch, and we were all just crossing our fingers saying, please don't drop a third one, South Africa. As you see, Dinesh Karthik making his way to the crease. He had a very, very good IPL, I thought. Really, really showed his maturity and the way he can just strike the ball at the back end without really having a lot of deliveries to work with.
Yeah, India bringing him into this team as a experienced finisher at the back end. He's got 4 overs and a delivery to show what he can do in this match. In the previous match, he batted at a similar time. India was struggling, and he also struggled to get going until the last over, where he had a couple of sixes. I think he ended with 30 off 21 balls in that game.
Yeah, no, he did. Very, very good game that actually. Thought it was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I thought South Africa were going to get those runs very, very easily. They struggled quite a bit. As Pretorius into Dinesh Karthik, who just works this to wide-ish long on for a single.
Yeah, it was a tricky pitch for that second T20, and I think this one as well. We've seen, I think if you take pace off and hit the deck here, it does make it quite hard for batsmen. So I suspect we'll see India bowl a lot of slower balls.
Do you reckon India will go for that right from the start? Because we saw South Africa at the start, they were really going into the deck and they were really punished all over. Do you think it's a good ploy for India to, with that new ball, go for the cutters? Or do you think try to get the ball to swing and seam at the start?
I think Bhuvneshwar, because that's what he does so well. You know, if there is any swing or seam on offer, he'll exploit it. So I think he'll start by seeing if he can get some life out of the pitch. But then I think they'll switch to slow balls and hitting the deck after a few overs.
And do you think that Chahal will have a big influence on this game, even though it is a small pitch? Do you think he'll have a better game than he did in the past 2 games? As you see, Kagiso Rabada coming back into Dinesh Karthik, who looks very uncomfortable with the first delivery and just works into a shortish mid-wicket for 1 run.
I think we've seen more turn on this pitch than we've seen for the previous 2 games. So it might bring Chahal into the game a bit more, especially if India get a couple of early wickets through the paceman and have a bit of a squeeze on the Proteas batsman. Then Chahal can really build on that.
Yeah, no. I think Chahal and Bhuvneshwar Kumar are going to be a very, very big part for India's success in this game if they are to try and save this series. As it's a slow ball from Kagiso Rabada out of the side of the hand. It's worked straight to short cover for no run. Oh, we are joined by Dave.
What's up?
Hello, Dave.
How's everybody doing?
Dave is our
thrown in.
Oh, Dave is our finisher.
Absolutely, I'm coming to take all the wickets.
As we see Kagiso Rabada with a very, very good Yorker on the toes of Hardik Pandya, who just works us into square leg for a single.
Rabada really just so classy, both in the previous game and this one. All the white ball skills, and even in the first T20, I thought he bowled a lot better than his figures suggested.
Yeah, no, definitely bowled very, very well. Very unlucky with these small fields again. Getting a lot of edges, especially in that first game. The power play was all over Ruturaj Gaikwad and Ishan Kishan, but so many edges just flew to the boundary. As we see Rabada again into Hardik Pandya, a shortish delivery, and it's just pulled into the leg side to square leg for a single.
Ken, have you been impressed with the return of DK, Dinesh Karthik?
I think he struggled a bit in the previous game. He did well in the last over, but I think he would have liked to have had a bit more impact before that. But he's got time to do it in this innings, certainly. Three overs and a ball remaining. Very dangerous batsman indeed.
Yeah, no, definitely. As this one just worked again into the leg side by Hardik Pandya from Kagiso Rabada, bowling a lot of slow deliveries, short-ish slow deliveries to these batsmen, not giving them any pace whatsoever to work with. Very, very good bowling from Kagiso Rabada.
It's an outstanding over. Just
Karthik, who tries to go for the reverse sweep, doesn't connect, and it is a dot ball. Good over from Kagiso Rabada. Only 4 runs coming from it. 3 overs to go, the score 148 for 4.
4 singles off that over. That's outstanding from Rabada. And we're not that long ago, we were talking about India making 220. Well, they might struggle to make 200 now with only 3 overs left, 148 for 4.
Oh, I would say struggling to make 190, 185. At the rate they're going, 2 batsmen not really settled, struggling to find the pace of this wicket. South Africa bowling very, very well. It's going to be a tough end for India here to get to that 190, 195 range.
Don't forget as well that you can like this video on YouTube and Facebook, and subscribe to our channel, ring the bell. You'll know exactly when we are going live for every single moment of this 5-match T20 series. And tweet us at GorillaSA, GERILLASA.
Yeah, and I think what this innings has showed as well is that it seems the best time for batting is up front against the harder new ball. In this innings, batting just seems to become more and more difficult as the innings has progressed.
Kind of a change, Ken, from the previous game in which you really got going towards the back end.
Yeah.
Just see Wayne Parnell coming back into the attack in for his 3rd over. His figure so far, 9 for 12 in his 2. He's coming in to Hardik Pandya over the wicket, and this one is a foolish delivery that's drive straight to short cover for no run. Dave, what have you thought about South Africa's fielding so far in this game?
You know, the fast bowlers have surprised me more so than usual. I'll continue after this delivery.
Wayne Parnell back into Hardik Pandya. Another Yorker delivery, and it's just worked into the leg side for 1. Wayne Parnell bowling very, very nicely at this stage.
I think even more so because spinners in the white ball game, and Ken will attest to this, in the white ball game and in India, you would think would be more of the drivers and not the passengers, but it's been the inverse in this series so far.
Yeah, no, very, very good from the not just from South Africa, but both sides really. The seamers taking the spotlight, not really seeing any spinners in those most wicket columns or best economy columns. All the spinners really taking some stick in this tour. As we see Parnell coming in for the 3rd delivery of his over, short-ish delivery, and it's well pulled into the leg side, and it's rushed Karthik, it looks like, and it's just 1 run too deep. Cow corner.
Yeah, I think that's the great thing about touring India these days is that whereas Indian conditions used to be slow and low, generally providing turn, they really do now have pitches that provide all sorts of challenges. We've seen a pitch in the second game which really helped the seam bowlers. We've seen a batting paradise in the first game. I think this pitch is maybe a bit more of a typical Indian pitch, but it just means you've got to adapt all the time to different conditions and situations. And I'm sure that's also had a hand in India becoming the superpowers that they are, because they've learned how to play in all these different conditions.
Oh no, definitely. As sorry to interrupt you, Ken, but it's a full wide delivery from Dwayne Pertorius, almost wayside, and it's just blunted into the offside from Hardik Pandya through cover for 4. So exactly what India needed. That's off before that delivery. It took 31 deliveries since the last boundary. South Africa really restricting India before that. As this one, another full toss worked into the leg side for another single.
You're just having a look at Rishabh Pant's dismissals in this series. He seems to be chasing the one that he shouldn't be.
Yeah, no, he's been chasing all sorts of deliveries, but it's been Ishan Kishan has also done it. I think he did it in the first game as well, but he definitely did it in this game as well. Everybody just not really already getting 16 off the over and then still trying to go for more. As this one, another Yorkish delivery into Dinesh Karthik for a single. A good over nonetheless for Dwayne Pertorius. 8 runs coming from it. The score 156 for 4 with 2 overs remaining.
Yeah, Rishabh Pant.
Go for it, Ken.
Rishabh Pant has a bit of a history against South Africa of getting himself out, if you like. But one can sympathise a bit with him because he's batting in the middle order. He's trying to accelerate the run rate. Obviously, in the T20 game, he doesn't have too much time to get himself in. He has to play aggressively, just maybe a few issues with shot selection at the moment.
In the women's game, Ireland scored 213 for 8 from their innings in the second ODI in Dublin, and South Africa at the moment, after 20 overs, are 107 for 1. So great start for the Momentum Proteas.
That is great to hear. So I've actually got a question for you guys. Don't you think it would have been wise from India to maybe push Hardik Pandya to number 4 and put Rishabh Pant into that number 5-6 position where he's really a finisher? As Rabada into Karthik, another slow ball that's just worked towards a backward point for a single.
I think Pant being the captain, he probably wants to bat 4. He sees himself as the number 4, so not surprising that he's there. David, I wanted to ask you, does Laura Wolfart have runs in that Ireland game? I figure she's due.
Out for 27, caught poor ball.
Oh, no, okay.
Yeah, it's Goodall. Laura Goodall that's got 50, and her partner at the other end, Andri Stain, with 41. Both not out.
Fantastic.
Rabada into Hardik Pandya that's just worked it into short cover, and they scamper through for a quick single. Bavuma's choosing not to throw it and rather keep it in hand, and they've scampered through for a single.
And Ken, the thing is, as much as we do want Laura Wolfart to be firing, it's good for Laura Goodall to be coming right in this series.
Very much so indeed, yeah. Bit of a fringe player, but a quality batter, I believe.
As Rabada back into Dinesh Karthik, goes for the scoop, and this has gone straight towards third man, and he scores. He tried to scoop this over the top of fine leg, and it's just sort of caught the edge, and it's gone straight to third man, and Dinesh Karthik's gone for 6 of 8, caught Dwayne Pertorius, bowled Kagiso Rabada.
Karthik struggling to get going here, so he reverted to something fancy, and Kagiso Rabada just way too good to allow him to get away with that.
And a very, very good catch, can we say, from Dwayne Pertorius, not dropping a sitter as 2 other South Africans did in this game so far.
Absolutely. And Akshar Patel is the new man at the crease, and he's going to join Hardik Pandya. And we're going to see how he goes about it. 158 for 5. This innings could could use some impetus.
Well, he did. Well, I was very impressed with him in the RPL. He batted a tremendous strike rate and really going after the bowlers in those last 2 or 3 overs. So he can hit a ball. So I don't think South Africa are quite out of the woods yet, but definitely breathing a little bit lighter now. As this is a short ball and it's edged for 4. A short ball from Kagiso Rabada and Hardik Pandya trying to pull it, getting a top edge, going between keeper and third man, and it's gone for 4. Not exactly what South Africa needed, exactly what India needed though.
So many runs in this innings, down to the third man and fine leg boundaries.
The nature of white ball cricket, I suppose.
Mm.
As Kagiso Rabada coming in for the 5th delivery of this over. It's another short ball, but this one straight up into the air. But it will land safely once again. Lands just in front of Maharaj, who was a long on, and he ran all the way into the inner ring and just couldn't get there. That's another single for Hardik Pandya.
David, do you think South Africa have overdone the short pitch bowling of it, the fast and furious stuff?
Not such a simple answer, Ken. Not such a simple answer. I think when South Africans are often guilty of, when things are going right, they want to overuse something, and that ends up being their undoing a lot of the time.
As we see Kagiso Rabada coming in for the final delivery of the 19th over into Akshar Patel. It's a new batsman at strike. He's coming over the wicket to Akshar Patel. It's another slow delivery, and Akshar Patel just works this into the leg side, and his first delivery goes for 4. He just works this into the leg side between cow corner and long on for 4. A very, very good shot from Akshar Patel first up. Not a great way to finish off the over. 11 from it.
That was a quality shot to get the pace of the pitch. Rabada took a lot off that delivery. It was back of a length. Oh, to just time that so well. An on drive wide of mid on. That was a hell of a shot by Akshar Patel.
Ken, to come back to your point, South Africans are very much like Jack Russells. Once we get a hold of the tennis ball or the toy, we don't let it go. I think sometimes that can be a good thing in terms of, putting your foot on the throat of the opposition. But the inverse can so easily be true because, the nature of T20 cricket, you can be well ahead and then suddenly scrambling to chase the game.
Yeah, I agree with you, David. Wayne Parnell is going to bowl the last over.
He's coming in over the wickets to Hardik Pandya, who just whips this into the leg side, and it's another boundary. This one between cow corner and long on once again. Half volley length from Wayne Parnell, and it's just whipped. Those wrists from Hardik Pandya, very, very powerful, and a 4 to start off the 20th over.
I love that shot. It's a wonderful hockey-esque type shot. MS Dhoni, helicopter vibes.
It's a very,
Hardik Pandya dropped early on, of course, and South Africa will be desperate to make sure that he doesn't punish them in this last over. Chasing less than 180 or chasing 190 could make a big difference when it comes to the Proteas batting.
As this one from Wayne Parnell, a great Yorker, and Hardik Pandya just all he can do is just dig it out to the cover region for a single. Very, very good follow-up delivery from Wayne Parnell.
Ken, what do you make of this new law with the non-striking batsman who crosses, during the fall of a wicket due to a catch, having to remain there, and the new man has to be on strike?
Yeah, I quite like it. I must say, it just means that in the last over, a team gets properly penalised, if you like, for, you could have a tail ender who just slogs wildly, gets out, but the set batsman manages to cross and then, is on strike for the rest of the over. So it just gives the bowling side a bit more reward for getting a wicket.
As this one in from Wayne Parnell, another good Yorker. And Akshar Patel can only work it into the leg side for 1. So after that initial boundary at the start, it's been a good follow-up 2 deliveries from Wayne Parnell. He's only gone for 6 so far with 3 deliveries to go.
it's always been characterized as a batsman game, and more so in the T20 format. So yeah, I agree, Ken. It's a good addition to the laws, or revision of the laws. Let's put it that way.
As we see Wayne Panaar coming back into Hardik Pandya, the score 173 for 5 with 3 balls left in the 20th. It's another Yorker, and this one is again whipped off stump by Hardik Pandya over the top of that mid-wicket fielder that they placed there, and it's gone for another 4. So good batting from Hardik Pandya, and once again those wrists come into play.
Quite extraordinary. Yeah, there's not much of a backlift. It was a low full toss, and he just whips it wide of long on, and with such timing and power that there's no chance for the fielder to cut it off.
The fielder moved 2 steps and it was already a boundary. Great timing from Hardik Pandya, great shot. And that is exactly what India need. They were hoping for at least another boundary, if not maybe even 2. And we see a change in field. We see that mid-wicket fielder that was placed in between cow corner and long on inside the inner ring has now gone to the boundary towards between square leg and long cow corner, and cow corner has just moved around. This is a great Yorker from Wayne Panaar, and it's just dug out towards point for a dot ball.
I don't know what you guys think, but to me, Wayne Panaar has been a wonderful addition to this Proteas team, a wonderful return for him to T20 cricket, I think for the first time since 2017. He's bowled really well all 3 games so far.
Yeah,
South Africa's prodigal son.
He's bowled so well. I'm just so mad because he's keeping Marco Jansen out of the team, and I love Marco Jansen, and he's not even getting a chance at the moment. So that's frustrating me. But he's bowling very, very well, and I couldn't be happier for him. As we see the final delivery from Wayne Panaar to Hardik Pandya. This over so far going for 10 runs. The score 177 for 5. And it's a great Yorker once again from Wayne Panaar. Hardik Pandya can only get a bottom edge for 1. They scamper through. They do get back for 2. So good running at the end. And this final score for India 179 for 5 in their 20 overs.
Wow, South Africa will be delighted with that finish.
Yeah, particularly
India scoring. Yeah, India scoring just 59 runs in their last 8 overs when they had 9 wickets in hand. So that's a really good comeback by the Proteas.
Absolutely. Right, let's run through the scorecard. South Africa won the toss and they decided they'd have a bowl. Temba Bavuma doing well with the flip of the coin. Gaikwad and Kishan got India off to an absolute flyer, 97 when the first wicket fell. And that means that it brought Shreyas Iyer to the wicket. He only scored 14 compared to the great scores of 57 and 54 from Gaikwad and Kishan, respectively. Then it was Rishabh Pant's turn. He only stuck around for 6 deliveries and didn't really change the game. 0 boundaries to his name. And then Hardik Pandya was alongside with Dinesh Karthik. Hardik Pandya ending there, not out on 20 from 16, 2 fours. And Dinesh Karthik, he was caught by Wayne Panaar off of the bowling of Kagiso Rabada. This was a chip shot to third man. He was gone for 6 from 8. Aksar Patel not out on 4 from just that one delivery. The bowling figures for South Africa: Kagiso Rabada 3.6 over, 4 overs bowled, 1 for 31, and Wayne Panaar 3 overs, 0 for 20, not picking up a wicket, but miserly in his spell today. His his partner that is also. He's currently a Warriors man, a former Warriors man, is Wayne Panaar. 2 overs, 0 for 23 from Ishan Kishan. Dwayne Pertorius, 2 for 29 in 4. Tabraiz Shamsi, 1 for 36 in 4. And Keshav Maharaj, 2 overs, 1 for 24 from him. So Temba Bavuma and Reza Hendricks will open the batting for South Africa as they look to chase 180 runs. Don't forget, you can also tweet us at Guerrilla SA. Go like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, critical that South Africa get off to a good start against the new ball. In that power play, we saw India score the vast majority of their runs in the first half of their innings. So South Africa will be mindful of that, that it does look to get quite tricky to score quickly towards the back end.
Right, and we're going to listen to the Dane Patterson interview on the Full Quarter podcast, brought to you by Mpho Motlwane and Tim Delace, and we will be back with you very shortly.
Okay, cheers, guys.
Goodbye. Thank you.
And hello, and welcome to new season, Tim. I'm not sure if you want to call this the new season, but it is a new season of the Full Quarter podcast with myself and Mpho Motlwane, as well as Tim Delace. It's going to be another jam-packed season of cricketing discussion, everything else, and we've got an incredible interview lined up for you to start it off as we go into the new cycle. The new financial year of CSA started at, I think, at the end of April, and so we're all moving down. Let me introduce my co-host, Tim. Tim, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Yes, I think we can call this season 2. We've had at least 2 weeks break, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
We needed a refresh. We needed a bit of a break from the constant podcasts. But yeah, all ready for the what's new and the different things we're going to be giving you going into the next couple of months.
Yes, Tim, that's very true. And so now, obviously, we've got a great interview lined up for you. But for those who are wondering about when we're going to talk about what's been happening at CSA, the news that came out today, we will be doing that tomorrow. So just do watch out for that. We're just going through everything, making sure that we don't want to do because the problem about a reaction that's very fresh is that sometimes you just miss certain things, so a certain angle. So we're trying to see what the best angle is, and we're going to try and give you our thoughts as well as what we think is going to happen going on. But we've got a really, really awesome guest for you. I'm not sure if he's doing it from his home county now or his adopted county, but we have Protea bowler, fast bowler Dane Patterson here to discuss his career and his current playing situation at Nottinghamshire as well. He took 10 wickets last week or a couple of weeks ago, so we are all excited here because Tim does this. Tim always just watches South African players. If you're a South African player, he'll watch you. And so I've been hearing a lot about when you were taking your 8 wickets in that one innings. In that first innings, he kept on sending me messages, and I was like, "Dude, I'm at work." But let's keep on going. The message to watch.
Good on Tim.
Yes. So Dane, we'd like to say thank you for spending some time with us. Are you in your home county? Are you in Nottinghamshire, or where are you right now?
Yeah, I am in Nottingham. We just finished off some training, so the boys are off to Lords. Unfortunately, I'll be out because I pulled up with a back spasm. So I could have gone, but don't want to jeopardize a team where I could be bowling my first over in the first inning. All of a sudden pull up, and then we're in a great position. We're basically playing another team in form, Middlesex. They on top of the 2 leading by a couple of points. So if we could come out with a positive result, it will be good for us.
Yes, I think you've had a really great start to the season. I think you've taken about 18 wickets so far this season. How are things that side? I think, I know it's not your first time. It's your second time as an overseas pro at Nottingham. How is it now this time around?
A bit easier because I think last year I had to learn I'll basically get to know everybody, learn the conditions. So I was basically busy on the field with training, and then obviously off the field, getting to know my teammates and things like that. So this year's been easier. I've just gotten off the plane and into training, and it just feels like a second home at the moment.
Awesome. Give us an idea of how it all came about, because you were playing for South Africa. You were playing in the last test match when England were here. How did that come about? That move over to Nuts?
So before I made my debut with that test match, I think the ECB said that if you play a number of first-class games in the year, I think you qualify. And then I qualified, and then got a call from Knots, obviously offering me a coal pack. And then, first of all, I said no, and then played the first test. And then in the second test, it was a bit between me and Keshav. So basically, with me, like just being in and out the national side, not being given a proper go at it. So just play one game here, and then back to the Cobras when I was playing for the Cobras. Do well, back into the setup, out, back into the setup. So yeah, it was kind of frustrating. So to go back to that, played the second test at the Wondrous, because if I remember, it rained the first day. Yes. So there was quite a lot of cross coverage. So Boucher just came to me and said that I'm playing, because we had like 4 days, and he thought that 4 seamers would do the trick. So yeah, and then said no to Knots, because I thought, okay, maybe this could be the opportunity now to be a bit longer in the system. And then I think I think I had a chat to Ashwell, and then I think Ashwell had a chat to Graham Smith, I think, and then Ashwell probably just said, like, I think it's a good thing if you sign it. So signed the deal. Never came due to COVID. Never came here 2020, and then came here 2021. And yeah, it's if I look back now, I think for my career, it's been a good move.
Yes,
your record at Nuts is better than anywhere else you've played for. You've got 72 wickets at 17. So yeah. You've taken like a duck to water.
Yeah, I think speaking to Rory, because he's been a long time playing for Northampton, and he
Werner Rasmus, the man of the hour.
Hello, Coach Dave. How are you?
Oh, I'm splendid, sir. How are you?
I'm excellent myself. Thank you very much.
Tremendous. How are you feeling about this first innings by India? They got off to an absolute screamer.
Yeah, they did indeed. Batted very well. I thought South Africa did a fantastic job to keep them down to 179. It looked for all money that they were going to post over 200 once again. But I think keeping them down to 179 in the end was a very good job. Taking those crucial wickets could have been even slightly better had Miller taken that catch off Pandya. But I don't think we can have too much issues with how that innings ended. And now it's up to the two openers.
Absolutely. Reply to your tweet by Gaurav Bordia says, Bavuma and Hendricks do something this time. Bovi would get in again. Interesting to see. But your commentary pairing for this first 10 will be Werner Rasmus and Ruud Jacobs of Jacobs. Either way.
Jacobs,
you're in the capable hands. I'm just going to hang around. And if I get kicked out, I get kicked out. I'm going to just hang out with you guys and watch some wonderful cricket if that's all good with everybody.
Sure. It wouldn't be due to us. As
No,
Bhuvaneshwar
the
Kumar
producer.
runs in first ball on a good length, and
And
Themba
this ball
Bavuma just
already.
guides it down to third man for a single to get South Africa off the mark in search of 180 runs.
We
Is it
want
just
you to
me?
get off the. Sorry, Rod. We
No,
want to
go
get.
for it,
We
go for
want
it.
you to get off the mark with tweets in this innings. So that's how you do it. You go to Twitter. You at GUERILLASA, Guerrilla SA. Tweet at us, shout at us, scream, and let us know what your thoughts are. Is this too much for South Africa, or will they clinch this series? Go to the YouTube channel, like this video, ding the bell, subscribe, all the good things, so that you can be part of the Guerrilla Cricket South Africa family. And like us on Facebook, on Instagram,
as
we're
this
everywhere.
one, as Bhuvaneshwar Kumar into Riza Hendricks for the first ball, and this one cuts back into Riza Hendricks. It's a big appeal, but I reckon it's just hit him a bit too high. They don't look like they're going for the review, but already we can see there's some sort of swing on offer for Bhuvaneshwar Kumar.
Yeah, that was prodigious swing back into Riza Hendricks, but it did seem to hit him a bit high. A lot of movement. Hendricks was definitely not ready for that one.
As we just got a comment on YouTube, Arvind says SR a batter light. If they had Markram and QDK, this total will be more chaseable. But now it is tough and go. Maybe India can pull this off. I reckon that's a fair analysis. But I mean, India Markram is out with COVID. I'm not quite sure why the Cox out, but I mean, Heinrich Klaasen has been a good replacement. Heinrich Klaasen has been a great replacement. As this one has cut in a mile, that's probably pitched on 6 stump outside off, and this is just jagged back, probably missing 3 stumps to the leg side. That has jagged back quite a long way. So India really seeing some swing already. That has jagged back quite a while.
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
Perfect seam position from Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. Riza Hendricks playing outside the line of it. I would advise the Proteas to not send in Dwayne Pertorius at 3 tonight.
As this one just worked into the leg side by Riza Hendricks for a quick single. A good delivery from Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. Not as much swing, probably a bit fuller, and Riza Hendricks just working this one into the leg side.
Varane, seeing the dismissal of Riza Hendricks clean bowled is off stump lying on its side like a drunkard sailor. I just felt like more of the same. It's been a repetition type of situation with Riza Hendricks. The ball that comes back into him, he's got a gap between bat and pad. How long before he works it out?
As this one from Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, again it jags back, and Themba Bavuma almost chopping it onto his own stumps. He's jumped over the stumps, but a great delivery once again for Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, and South Africa not handling this swing at all.
Yeah, it is something that Riza Hendricks will have to work on. This one, Themba Bavuma, but Riza Hendricks does tend to leave a gap between bats and pads, as Coach Davis mentioned. I think it's difficult to work on when you don't face this type of swing on a regular basis.
Right.
As this one again from Bhuvaneshwar Kumar jags back into Themba Bavuma for no run. A great first over by Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. No 2 runs, no wicket, and South Africa get out of the first over unscathed.
Mursa Bas saying South Africa have turned the corner. They're going to win an ICC tournament very soon. Please just get rid of the name Proteus. Well, I mean, what name would you like, my friend? Strelitsias or Dassies?
Here comes the daisies.
Yeah, I mean, Khalyuns, maybe something. I don't know. I thought that's what the water polo team would be named. Like that. That's what makes sense to me. Is the Khalyuns of Dolfina, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Chad Leclerc is a Khalyun.
Absolutely.
As you see that Avish Khan will take the new ball alongside Bhuvaneshwar Kumar from the other side. He was excellent in that previous match, and he also loves to get some movement off the pitch predominantly.
As we see Hendricks facing up to Avish Khan, and already there's some outswing, but Riza Hendricks is all up to it, and he hits this through the offside, through the covers for 4. Great way to start the second over. A lot of swing on offer, but just too full from Avish Khan. And Riza Hendricks says, "Thank you very much. I'll take that."
Yeah, I mean, you give Reese Hendricks width, and you're not gonna find that ball in your fielder's hands. You're gonna have to go fetch that one from the boundary. We saw a back foot punch in the previous game that was simply delectable, and it's something that is beautiful to watch, but frustratingly, the inverse of it is that bat and pad gap that Werner and I have spoken about.
Oh, as this one does cut back, and again, that bat and pad gap is exploited by India. It goes over the top of off stump, and once again, we see Riza Hendricks not being able to play the ball that does jag back.
That ball actually went fairly straight. It didn't have much movement. It was just lazy. He just held his bat out lazily. A real big gap between bat and pad, just about misses the off stump. He seems very comfortable with the ball moving away, but not as comfortable the moment it comes back in.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Frustrating as a coach, because it's glaring. It's not even, and obviously he will be working on it. It's not something that they'll ignore, but to change a technique issue like that is not a small issue to just deal with.
As this one from Avish Khan, short outside off, and it's just punched towards the point region. As we see, it's dismissal from the first innings. Again, that gap between bat and pad as the ball jags back, clean bowled, off stump.
Just a reminder to Mursabas, who says he doesn't like the name Proteas. Proteas burn in the fires that happen in the fynbos areas of mostly the Western Cape of South Africa. And so they're the first plants to regenerate after those devastating bushfires. That's why that hashtag Protea fire existed, because it's the first plant to regenerate.
Oh, as this is a beautiful shot from Riza Hendricks, a bit too short from Avish Khan, outside off, and Riza Hendricks takes the opportunity, gets the width, and just punches this through short cover and mid off for another boundary.
Yeah,
Werner,
expertly played from
with
him.
Teresa.
Yeah.
With Teresa. I mean, it's not difficult to find.
Yeah, they've seen what's worked against him, getting the ball to come back in, and Rishabh Pant is sort of illustrating that to the bowler as well. Why are you giving him width? Come ball closer on that off stump to Riza.
As Avish Khan into Riza Hendricks, and this one does come in a bit, not a lot, but it does seem to Riza Hendricks is a lot more uncomfortable with that delivery as he works it into the leg side for no run.
I'm wondering, Werner, if it wouldn't benefit Riza Hendricks to get further across his stumps. And I feel confident enough with him playing it off the pads that being said, maybe that would allow him to feel a little bit more confident with his head position being outside off, and then he knows, anything there I can play it, but anything straight, then I have to worry about it a little bit more.
As Riza Hendricks tries to drive this, doesn't quite connect and hits a straight to short cover for no run. 8 off the second over, the score 10 without loss after 2.
Yeah, potentially, Dave, but it feels like it's more an issue of his bat not coming from the right angle. It feels like it's coming from gully instead of let's say first slip. And that's kind of why he's late on it the whole time, because he's cutting across it instead of coming in behind it in the line it's coming from. Well, that's at least my observation.
There was a young cricketer by the name of Hashim Amla. He was young at the time, that had a very similar issue, but worked on it. And then obviously, world class as he was, but it's difficult now. I mean, Riza Hendricks is not in the infancy of his career.
Oh, as this one for Bhuvaneshwar Kumar into Temba Bavuma, who tries to clip this almost, and it looks like it was beaten for pace, as he can't quite connect, as this one also cuts straight through him for no run.
Yeah, in terms of Hendricks, it feels like it's a technique that's worked for him well. Domestically in List A cricket and T20 cricket, it served him well. But he hasn't quite cut it in the red ball format for the Lions, and I think that might be one of the major reasons. I've seen people call for him to be included in a test side, but he doesn't have the first class stats to really back it up when you are averaging in the low 30s.
Rutte, are you still with us?
That last one was just cut out 2 point by Riza Hendricks for no run.
I think Rutte's his cat must have tripped over the modem cable. But nevertheless, Varun and I will be absolutely privileged, honored to bring you this game. 11 without loss. South Africa needed to go at 9 to the over, so slightly behind the curve. Well, not the curveball, the worm. But the game is still in its primacy.
On a good length, and just worked out 2 covers by Riza Hendricks for no run. South Africa on 11 out loss after 2.3 overs. Not yet really getting into this power play, or not making good use of it so far. The Indians have bowled very well, especially Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, who's only conceded 3 runs so far of his 1.3 overs, really tucking the batters up.
You've raised a key point, Varun. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. In the previous game, bowled really well. The moment they took him off, watch how the game shifted.
He did indeed. This one from Riza Hendricks is placed very well, just in front of the man at short third man, and the man out at sweeper cover, running around, or more like a deep point running around to cut that one off. But they do come back for 2 runs. That moves his score up to 11 of 11 deliveries at a runnable. Temba Bavuma is on 2 of 5. South Africa 13 without loss.
All the 11s there, so some good omens for the South Africans. They're going at 4.8 and requiring over 9. But like I said, I think you've got to watch here when they do send Bhuvi Kumar to the outfield to go field for a bit. I think once they weather this spell, certainly the game will shift.
Good length delivery just outside the off stump, worked out to that man at sweeper for a single. Moves Riza Hendricks up to 12 of 12. Yeah, both these batters have a very similar strike rate in international T20 cricket. Bavuma and Riza Hendricks both strike at the low 120s. Not necessarily ideal, especially when you're chasing a score of 180. So they'll have to punch a bit above their average strike rate here to set the Proteas up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, Temba Bavuma looks to guide it once more, but gets an inside edge past the stumps, and it rolls out to fine leg for yet another single. Only 5 runs off that over. South Africa 15 without loss after 3. Temba Bavuma on 3 of 6. Riza Hendricks on 12 of 12 deliveries, and they'll need to look to end off this power play on a high note.
Yeah, it's something that you don't realize until you realize, type of thing, as a casual fan. The scoring rate for both Riza Hendricks and Temba Bavuma, but the 2 names that you might imagine that would perfectly counterbalance either one of these 2 batsmen, Yanaman Malan and Quinton de Kock, not in this side today. Quinton de Kock is obviously injured. No, Yanaman Malan not being a part of this squad. So we'll see how that plays into South Africa's World Cup T20 plans. Nevertheless, Aksar Patel is going to begin his first over. 14 wickets at an economy of 7.14. He's going to bowl left arm around the wicket to Temba Bavuma.
Temba Bavuma walks across, tries to sweep this one fine, and luckily there is a misfield by the man at 45 on the leg side, and they do scamper back for the second run. Temba Bavuma set off quickly. Riza Hendricks was a bit unsure. If that was fielded properly, there might have been some trouble there for Temba Bavuma.
How far do you think this is from India's World Cup squad?
It's probably some ways off. As Aksar Patel again fires this one in, it's just worked into the vacant mid-wicket region for a single. Takes Bavuma up to 6. Yeah, they're missing out on players like Shami and Bumrah. Those are 2 mainstays in their bowling lineup. They don't have Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma, who, granted, aren't in very good form, but probably will still make their World Cup squad. Surya Kumar Yadav, who's been excellent for them, also not playing. As Riza Hendricks works his one out to the deep mid-wicket boundary. The man does run around to cut it off. They pick up 2 runs. Takes South Africa up to 20 without loss after 3.5 overs. So yeah, quite a few players there. There's also Ravi Jadeja is also not playing. So I think it's probably some ways off their World Cup squad right now.
Mm-hmm. So how do you think that will play into their planning of this series, particularly where they have a lot of the star players missing?
Yeah, it's probably good to see who will their backups be at the World Cup. A few of these guys will obviously start as well, as we see that Dwayne Pertorius is padded up to come in at number 3, despite the movement so far. But at least Bhuvaneshwar Kumar has already bowled 2 overs, so maybe the ploy can still work. Somebody's going to need to lift this run rate up for South Africa, as Reza Hendricks places one out too long off for another single. Playing in singles and twos right now are South Africa not picking up those boundaries, as are 21 without loss.
Yeah, it's casually knocking around. It's almost one-day cricket in the middle overs.
It is. Thembavuma tries a big shot here, and his helmet almost going off his head. He swung himself so hard off his feet, but it goes off the bottom part of the bat all the way to deep mid wicket again. They do come back for a second, so despite no boundary in the over, they do have 8 runs of the over so far with 1 ball to come.
Yeah, and our producer just reminding us that if South Africa do manage to chase this score down, that'll be the highest score at this ground. The ground with 1,000 names, or not 1,000 names, but certainly 1,000 characters in it. Seemingly.
In the air and straight to the man at mid-on. Themba Bavuma goes. He tried to work his one past him to the boundary because he knows that the run right is going a bit out of hand. He goes for 8 of 10 runs. Akshar Patel picks him up off the last ball of his first over. He has 1 for 8. South Africa now 23 for 1 after 4 overs, struggling a bit in the power play, and we are likely to see Dwayne Pertorius come in.
Yeah, Themba Bavuma goes for 8 from 10. Strike rate of obviously 80, because you can do maths like the best of us. But South Africa going at 5.75, and they need so much more than that. Themba Bavuma realizing that, trying to accelerate things, and in the previous delivery nearly swung himself off his feet, and this time he is caught by Avesh. And that's the end of the South African skipper. It brings everybody's favorite pinch hitter, who seems to be cementing a space at number 3, Dwayne Pertorius. And the man from the Northwestern Province will want to continue his performances in this series. The first one, like a rocket, he batted. Not so much in the second game. So, one hit, one miss, Werner.
Yeah, he started off like a rocket in the second match as well. He hit his first ball to the boundary for 4, but then 3 dots followed, and then his wicket. So India now deciding to also bring on Yuzi Chahal, so bringing on both spinners is Rishabh Pant, seeing as Pretorius is 2 degrees. Though I think Pretorius would quite like him. He loves that sweep shot, does Dwayne Pertorius.
Yeah, he also loves that short ball that's been dragged down by Yuzvendra Chahal. So anything that's short, he's going to hammer it over the mid-wicket boundary. Kobus Janssen van Rensburg said 2 wasted balls, and Bavuma's gone for 8 from 10.
Yeah, Dwayne Pertorius will look to not waste any balls. He has a career strike rate of 165. Also a best of 77 that did come at 3 against Sri Lanka, as Yuzi Chahal comes into Reza Hendricks, who punches this one towards cover for no run. Too many dot deliveries from both openers. Reza Hendricks now on 15 of 15 deliveries. Target of 180. That was 9 and over at the start. Has quickly moved up to over 10 to the, close to 10 to the over.
992, yeah, is the required run rate. Ooh.
Beautiful delivery by Yuzi Chahal. It turns just past the edge of Reza Hendricks, who didn't seem to know too much about that one. He was just feeling for it. So good to see from India's point of view, quite a bit of turn. And it did in fact take the edge of Reza Hendricks, and it came off the glove of Rishabh Pant. A bit of a thick edge, not an easy take for the keeper.
Yeah, when it comes quickly off of that bat of his, then you're going to have to do a lot of work to get rid of it. This one, he's just sat back and punted away, and they'll just get the single for it. Similar type shot there from Reza Hendricks. Ray PMB9 says, Themba Bavuma and Reza Hendricks might be the worst opening partnerships in the top 10 teams in the world. But by the way, he loves Themba as captain. So not, putting down Themba as captain, but not a fan of the combination. Who would you have as an alternate in the absence of Quinton de Kock? Werner?
I'd actually like Aiden Markram if he didn't have COVID. I wouldn't
Sure.
mind setting him back up to open. But Jan Mamelan is an option. Even you could even try Rossi as opener, and shift everybody else maybe up a spot. Oh, Dwayne Pertorius worked this one into the leg side, set off for a single, but sent back by Reza Hendricks, as there was no single there. South Africa 24 for 1, 4 balls into the 5th over.
Yeah, former Lions teammates Dwayne Pertorius and Reza Hendricks. To be fair, Reza wasn't faultless in that in that little incident. He did set off and then immediately pulled the handbrake.
Yeah, a bit of a stop start there from the Protea batters. Dwayne Pertorius facing up to Chahal again. This one short but fired in quicker. And another dot. Only one of the overs so far. One ball to go in the over. South African requiring more than 10 runs to the over now. That opening partnership was a bit of a worry too when I saw the 11 in the previous match as well. And when you look at it and you have Timba and Reza Hendricks striking at low 120s, Rossi usually takes quite a bit to start off as well. It's not the most threatening of top orders. Usually Chahal floats his one on the leg stump, just punched out too long off for a single by Dwayne Pertorius to get him off the mark off his third delivery. South Africa 25 for 1 after 5, only going at 5 runs to the over and really not making good use of this power play.
And I think crucially, that's why South Africa have looked to somebody like Dwayne Pertorius to try and accelerate the scoring, to move things on, to get a move on with things. Because if we look at a comparison, India were nearly 50 from their first 5 overs, 48 without loss. South Africa comparatively nearly half of that at 25 for the loss of the 1 wicket that of Temba Bavuma, who was caught by Avish Khan, bowled Akshar Patel. He was gone from 4-8 from 10. And it's been slow going for the South Africans. Slow indeed. Stagnant.
It has. To be honest with you, Dave, I liked the call to bring him in at number 3 in that first game. It was a bit of a surprise factor for the Indians. They wouldn't have expected Dwayne Pertorius to come in at 3 as a pinch hitter. But I'd rather have Rossi come in. I don't think number 4 is probably a spot too low for him. It does take a bit of time generally to get going. And I thought with Markram out with COVID that finally we'll get to see David Miller at 4.
Right.
But then obviously he came in at 5 in that first game, and then in the last game with Klaasen coming in ahead of him, he came in at 6 still. As Hashim Patel is into the attack, balls a short length delivery outside the off stump. Dwayne Pertorius goes for a big cut, and he takes the top edge and goes out to the third man boundary, 4 as the man is up in the circle.
Not missing out there at all. That was short, wide, and all he had to do was slash at that one and raced away to the boundary. And we spoke in the previous innings about the fact that the runs cometh in the third man fine leg region, and that's proving to be the case. There's only 2 men out, both on the leg side, one at kind of a cow corner, one at square leg.
Worked out into that deep and wicket region for another single by Dwayne Pertorius, moves his score up to 6 of 5 deliveries. South Africa still a bit behind the 8 ball here, as we see a replay of Temba Bavuma's dismissal. It was a full length delivery on the leg stump. He tried to whip it past that man at mid-on, but he didn't get the elevation or the power behind it to get it past him. And so he fouled to Akshar Patel. South Africa 34-1.
Yeah, Timber was frustrated with himself in the previous game where, he knew he needed to play a better shot than he did, and you could see the visible frustration from South Africa's skipper. And he always is somebody who wants to contribute.
Slower ball on a good length from Akshar Patel. It takes the inside edge of Reza Hendricks, who's been scratching around all innings. And it goes to that short, fine leg, and they run through for a single. Takes his score up to 17 of 18 deliveries. Not ideal when you're chasing 180.
Ray PMB saying 2 right-handed batsmen anchors whose strike rate is about 120-ish. Neither of them particularly strong against spin and pace. Markram and de Kock might be a good combo at the top for the South Africans.
Hashim Patel bowls a quick bouncer to Dwayne Pertorius, catch him a bit by surprise, but he does manage to work it out to deep square for another single. Yeah, it could potentially be a potent opening combo. That I do agree. Though Markram has now done well at number 4 for the Proteas, so I don't think he's going to be shifted away from that position. It's going to be in all likelihood Quinny and Temba. Temba is just going to have to use the power play a lot better.
Do you think the demons of his Test opening berth would would be ringing loudly in the ears of Markram? My word.
Picked up beautifully by Riza Hendricks all the way over deep square leg for 6. Arsha Patel bowled one of those slower balls of his, but quickly picked up by Riza Hendricks, and he just deposited it, finally getting one away, and moves his score up to 23, giving a little bit of impetus here in the final over of the power play.
You see, this further emphasizes the point I was making about him getting further across his stumps, maybe batting on off stump, because he's more than confident and capable of dispatching balls onto his pads. I think it's just that one on a length that heads towards his off peg that he doesn't feel comfortable with. But great shot there by Riza Hendricks.
Yeah, that was a fantastic shot. I missed your question, Dave. As I was looking at that 6 from Riza. Oh, would you keep Timba in the T20 squad when his time as captain ends after the World Cup? Asks Kobus Jans van Rensburg, saying he isn't captain anymore after the World Cup. It is a tough question. I don't see him particularly as an out-and-out T20 batter. I do see him as an excellent captain and leader of the team, and we have done well under his leadership. But if you're looking one-on-one against him and a different, potentially a different T20 opening batter, I think we might have better options. But as captain, I don't think we have better options right now. And I do think he does have the game to take the power play on, and I think that's all we really need from him right now. Hashim Patel runs in. Riza Hendricks tries to go big. It goes up in the air, and it is safely taken by mid-off, who runs back. Yuzi Chahal takes it over his shoulder. Riza Hendricks, knowing that he has to up the run rate here, falls for 23 of 20 deliveries. South Africa are now 38 for 2 at the end of the power play, only going just over 6 runs to the over, and Rassie van der Dussen will come to the crease.
Yeah, a victim again of his own undoing. A great catch there by Yuzvendra Chahal. You could just see the moment that he struck it, did Riza Hendricks, he put his head down. He knew he just needed to get to the other end. It was poorly timed. And India now have their second wicket, that of Riza Hendricks. He's gone for 23 from 10, strike rate of 121. And that would bring, as Werner so wonderfully pointed out, it's Butma 1000, Rassie van der Dussen.
It is. That was spot on Riza's strike rate, career strike rate, really. So we needed a bit more from him here today, both from him and Temba Bavuma. But let's see what Rassie van der Dussen can do with Dwayne Pertorius here today. It's important that he doesn't start as slowly as he did in that first match, because we're already behind the rate right now, so we can't afford any more of that.
Ray PMB is saying he was disappointed with Khalid's definition of an anchor. Anchor means a guy who takes a bit of time by scoring at 125 plus and then explodes, just like Joss Butler for England. So it's an interesting point that Ray's made there, that somebody that, yes, they just generally take a little bit longer to get going. I've always found, Werner, that the guys who are blasters, in games where they don't really matter, they seem to come off wonderfully. But in crucial games, when you want a guy to come out and absolutely bludgeon the opposition bowlers when we need it, there's very few that can come out and do that.
Yuzi Chahal with a good length delivery on off stump. Rassie van der Dussen comes forward to defend this one out into the offside for no run. Yeah, it's a bit of a catch-22. I think, yeah, you probably, if you're somebody who just comes in and looks to smash the ball from ball one, you probably fail more than you succeed. Those who succeed more is usually somebody like a David Miller, who takes about 10, 12 deliveries to get themselves set and then looks to go big as Yuzi Chow bowls another one full on the middle and off and defended back down to him by Rassie for no run.
Yeah, 38 for 2 at the moment. South Africa chasing 180 for victory. They're 2-0 up in the series, and India would love to pick up a wicket here. That would certainly put the game close to, looking at the end of things. This one's just driven out to that wide, long off position, cleaned up, and they'll get through for one. I think one more wicket would certainly upset the South African apple cart. But for South Africa's seemingly close to full strength side and India's B team, maybe that's not fair, but I think we spoke about how far they are from getting their World Cup squad together. Is this an indication for South Africa? 2-0 up in a series and now struggling a little bit in game number 3?
As Dwayne Pertorius just works this one out, 2 deep square for another single. Yeah, it's difficult to really say exactly where we are. It looks pretty decent, but I think it's mainly been due to our middle order batters. To be fair, it's been David Miller in that first match, and then Rassie at the back end with Heinrich Klaasen in the last match. It's been a bit of a struggle at the top of the order. We haven't quite figured out our combinations. We haven't been able to get off to quick starts. As Rassie van der Dussen nicks off to Yuzi Chahal, a good catch by Rishabh Pant behind the wickets. Rassie trying to force this one off the back foot through the covers, but he only manages to get an edge to this one. He departs for 1 of 4 deliveries. South Africa reeling a bit here at 44-3 after 6.5 overs, and the Indian crowd are up and cheering for their team as we see Heinrich Klaasen coming to the crease.
Rightly so. It was a decent-ish delivery, little bit of turn away, probably a little bit less than Rassie van der Dussen was hoping for. Just a swat at it, really, nothing from it. And that means his innings comes to an end. He's gone for 1 from 4. South Africa struggling in all types of dwang is probably a polite way of saying it. Kobus Janssen van Rensburg saying, I love Temba as a captain, but if we're talking strengthening the batting of the T20 side, would Markram not make a good option as T20 captain? Why are people so obsessed with making Aiden Markram captain? What?
I don't know either. I wouldn't make him captain right now. He's just starting to find his feet in T20 cricket. He's now starting to nail, still struggling in the other formats. I don't want to burden him now with the captaincy. Maybe he'll take it in his stride, but I wouldn't give him the captaincy right now. Probably keep things as it is right now. Otherwise, Keshav Maharaj potentially showed he's a good captain against Sri Lanka as well, but that forces you to play 2 spinners if we're going to play Shamsi, the world number 1 spinner in every match, and then Maharaj as well. It kind of limits our options if we do play on pitches that are
you end up playing more all-rounders. Yeah,
it does. Heinrich Klaasen goes back to one that turns quite a bit from Chahal. Clearly some purchase for the spinners on this pitch. South Africa are 40-3 after 7 overs, going at less than 6 runs to the over, still requiring a further 140 runs to win and take the series 3-0.
Kobus, tell us, why do you want Markram as captain? I'm going to throw the name that everybody and their grandmother seems to want to see in the side. Dewald Brevis in the top order for South Africa. I know I'm gonna upset Werner with this one, and I don't agree with it either. But it's good to play a little bit of devil's advocate. Let's hear Werner's thoughts out in public. Let's air the dirty laundry. 7 overs gone, 40-3.
Sure. I don't think Dewald Brevis is quite there yet. He has loads of potential and talent, and I do think he's going to play many years for South Africa. But he still has a few things to work out before I think he will be ready for this level, especially working around those good deliveries. He does tend to eat up plenty of dot balls, as Dwayne Pertorius powers this one out too long off for a single, as Akshar Patel is into his second over. But yeah, so there's a couple of things. It's that just rotation of the strike of good length deliveries, and then the short ball. Though I've seen him struggle quite a bit against good pace bowlers who ball bounces to him. He's very slow to react on it. He's gotten away with it a bit, but he's also gotten out a couple of times. I think those are the 2 main things that He just needs to work out. Maybe a bit of first-class cricket will do him good, just to sort that technique out and make sure he's ready. But as soon as he dominates domestically, I'm sure he will get an opportunity. And that last one has just worked out to mud off for a single. Ooh, Dwayne Pertorius rocks back and pulls this one powerfully over cow corner for 6 off Akshar Patel. It wasn't that short, just short enough for him to hang back deep, and the power of the man gets it over the boundary.
Spinners, if you bowl short, you're going to fetch. I said it when he came to the crease. Anything short, you are going to disappear. He's absolutely hammered this. 88 meters into the crowd. Smaller boundaries here, and he's made the most of it. Great shot. Just a quick update from the South African women's game. The momentum approach is 190 for 1 after their 35 overs. They only need 24 runs to win, and they've got 15 overs to do it in. So it looks like a comfortable win here for the momentum approaches. Hopefully the men can duplicate that victory tonight to seal the series.
What is Andre Stain on now?
Let's give you those partnerships. Understand 72 from 92, and her partner Lara Goodall 79 from 89.
Fantastic. Akshar Patel bowls this one just short of length. It turns quite a bit away from Dwayne Pertorius, and he just manages to get some bat on it back towards the bowler for no run. Clearly, if they slow it up a bit, there is enough purchase in this deck. Another one on a good length just to fin it out into the offside for no run.
13 fours between this partnership of Stain and Goodall. So not wild scoring, but certainly handy enough to get South Africa over the line here.
Another dot as Dwayne Pertorius pushes this one out.
For a moment, I thought we were talking women's game. I was like, wait, this is the wrong match. I'm in the wrong
Why not both,
guys?
Paul? Why not both? Well, hello, welcome.
I like your background there, Umpo. That's the end of the 8th over. South Africa are 48 for 3, only going at 6 runs to the over, still requiring a further 132 runs.
Yeah, I agree. Mpo's just showing all of us up. The rest of us have plain backgrounds here.
I'm speaking it into the future, guys. Speaking it into the future.
His background looks very classy. Yuzi Chahal comes in, good length delivery on middle stump. Worked off the back foot by Andre Klaassen, 2 long off for a single.
So, Werner, how do you think South Africa needs to do this? Bat until over 15, or maybe even 13 with Miller?
Yeah, it's they do seem a bit behind the 8 ball here. I think Dwayne Pertorius needs to keep going here, not hold back. There's one cut out to the man at point. For no run. He's on 15 of 13 deliveries. Andre Klaassen has just joined him. To my annoyance, David Miller has once again been shoved down to number 6. It's been a bit of a pet peeve for me. I don't want to see him any lower than 5. And I thought with Markram not playing so far in the series, he will be coming in at 4, but it was not to be.
So here's my theory.
Wide outside the off stump, and it is called a wide by the umpire.
Here's my theory with all of this is that the 2 players who have windows are Temba and David Miller. Temba has to start the game for the Proteas. David Miller can only come in probably around over 11, which means we'll never see a David Miller century unless we can get 40 balls in the next 9 overs. So I think that's what South Africa is hoping. That's why Dwayne Pertorius has been added in to try and accelerate the run rate.
Yeah, and possibly to lengthen the batting lineup, seeing as we're technically playing a batter light in this lineup with the 2 all-rounders, only batting down to Wayne Parnell. But yeah, that is likely the reason they have like.
But it's a longer batting lineup.
Sorry,
it's a longer batting lineup still.
I don't know. I don't know if it is because
longer than what it was at the World Cup.
Yeah, true. Just on a good length from Yuzi Chahal again, worked out too long on for a single by Klaassen. Just not able to get the boundaries here are South Africa, apart from that 1-6 by Dwayne Pertorius. It's been a bit slow going here for them. Klaasen has a really good record against Chahal, though. This is his 4th innings against him. He's already hit him for 76 runs at a strike rate of 264. We saw him take him down here in South Africa and in that last match as well. Again, he floats this one wide outside the off stump, but too wide once more, and it is called a wide by the umpire. He's trying to lure Dwayne Pertorius into a big shot that is out of his reach to try and get that top edge.
Doesn't want to float the double wide jingle there. The double wide jingle needs to
come back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just short of a length and powered over the bowler by Dwayne Pertorius. Beautiful shot. I call it beautiful, but it's a bit agricultural, but it's done with a lot of power and precision, and they do pick up that crucial boundary. South Africa on 57 for 3 with 1 ball to go in the 9th over.
Gents, you know what commentating with you is like? It's like when you drive home after a long day and you just hit green lights the whole way. That's what it's like. It's honestly a thrill to be with you guys once again.
We've got some comments here. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, I thought you were done. We've got some comments here. Ria Vitamin says we're in a bit of a fix here.
We are a bit behind the 8 ball as Chahal comes in again to Pertorius, who hangs back, tries to play it into the outside. He gets a nick through to Rishabh Pant, and another one falls for the Proteas just as Pertorius looked to get going. He goes for 20 of 16 deliveries. South Africa are 57 for 4 after 9 overs, and I will get my wish as David Miller will join Heinrich Klaasen at the crease. South Africa looking way back in this match, but they do have their 2 informed batters that will now join up to take on the Indians.
Kobus Janssen van Rensburg saying he also agrees that it's early for us to make Aiden Markram captain, but he's just looking at his success at the S19 level as well. Doesn't it count for something? Well, I don't know how much of
kids, this is men.
Yeah, and it's been 8 years.
No, we just need to. No, sure. This guy has been riding on that under-19 World Cup fame for a very long time. Guys, I'm sorry. Just because he's the only guy who's ever won a World Cup for South Africa. No, guys.
But you see, the difference between him and KG is that they played in the same squad, as did Andile Pehlekwayo, but KG came in and absolutely took the opportunity with both hands.
My thing is this. We're riding on the fact that we think this guy is the leader. He's a great leader, but we think this guy can do it at international level. And
we're just looking for another Graham Smith?
No, we're looking for a way to get Timber out the team. That's all it is.
Okay.
That's all it is, and get your favorites in. That's all it is. And
doesn't it predate Timber's captaincy though? The questions for
it was. It was. Remember when Timber was on that purple patch?
Yeah.
In the England series in Australia when he was opening with Quinny, guys were saying then that no, get him out the team, give Markram an opportunity, and make Markram captain so he can have the same protection that captains get that Timber has right now.
Heinrich Klaasen goes for a big slog sweep and it just about misses the off stump. Akshar Patel looping this one out and it barely scrapes past the off stump. They do go through for a bye as Rishabh Pant fails to collect that one.
Werner, just run over Mpo and I. We will just for hours on end wax lyrical.
Yeah,
no problem.
Also,
Ray PMB saying, go for it.
No, also, I think we're in for quite a few overs, so people shouldn't be too worried because I think this team's game plan's always been get to over 15 and then see what you can do.
Akshar Patel into David Miller, who tries to work this one down the ground, but gets it off the outer half of the bat to cover for no run.
Ray PMB saying, Parnell at 7 isn't long, would like to replace Maharaj with Linda.
For
and
the
again,
hitting,
as Akshar Patel, Miller just works it out to deep square leg for a single. South Africa on 59 for 4 after 9.4 overs.
Look, I keep cash, but I know Linda's a better batter. But from a bowling perspective, I think cash is the one that they're going to go with.
Fired in by Akshar Patel on off stump. and just defended back towards him by Klaasen for no run. 1 ball remaining in the over as he runs in again. Short, and he pulls this one off the back foot in the gap, does Klaasen. 1 bounce to the boundary for 4. Much needed boundary to end off that over. South Africa move up to 63 for 4 after 10 overs. They require a further 117 runs after remaining 10 overs, almost 12 runs to the over.
Ray asking, well, I'm gonna put this to him, Paul. How Temba is useful as a T20 batter alone, leaving captaincy out of it. Go.
Okay, so everyone wants a power hitter, but Temba's an accumulator. I'm not saying he's an anchor, he's an accumulator. Temba's job in this plan and the system that Mark has built is to rotate the strike. Mark's strategy is to get to over 15 with one of your top 6 batters in there and having the other guys on the other end try to be as aggressive as possible. And then at over 15, you then reassess and see what target you want to get or aim for. That's been his plan ever since he's come into the South African side. So in that side, he needs a few accumulators, i.e. Rassie, i.e. Temba. And yes, Rassie has the power element to him at the back end of an innings. And Temba's got a little bit of power as well. He's just slightly off form, but he hasn't played cricket in like 3 months, 2 months since Bangladesh. So for me, that he works in Mark's system. Also, Temba's a better partner to Quinny. Quinny actually likes batting with Temba at the top of T20s, but it just works for what Mark is building. Quite frankly, if Temba wasn't captain, obviously people would say he must be dropped, and yes, based on his form right now in T20s, yes. But outside of that, I think because I don't think now after Mark's been through all the rubbish he's been through, he would be more comfortable now to drop Temba. It'd be okay, or drop him as captain. But my thing is, why change it's this team has been playing some really great cricket over the past I don't know how many T20s. It's 12. We haven't lost a T20 in 12 matches. So why change something that isn't broken? The only thing that needs to come into the side is Markram. But yeah, I think for me, Temba is the guy who allows the others to be as aggressive as possible. And you saw that in the last game with Heinrich and everybody else.
I have an interesting question to pose to you guys. Of late, we've seen a few teams starting to use that law of retiring out if they feel like somebody is stuck or they want somebody different to come in for a matchup against a bowler at the back end. Do you think that's something South Africa might consider in a crunch game if, let's say, Temba Bavuma is still there by the 6th innings over and he's on 50 of 42 deliveries and we have somebody like a David Miller still in the hut? Do you think that's something we'll consider?
But what Temba did in the last game, he started hitting out. He started being a lot more aggressive when he realized his window is done. So after over 11, he started being aggressive, and then he hit the ball to the boundary, and he got caught. So for me, that's a way for him to sacrifice his wicket. Yeah, you can retire out, that's fine. But we are working in a world where we're assuming that Temba cannot have the power game. He does have, it's not power, but it's touch. You saw all the interesting shots he was playing to get the 4s and stuff like that. And so for me, he just needs to be uber aggressive come over 10. So it's a window thing. So after over 10 or after the power play, he can be as aggressive as he wants, depending on the situation. Previous 2 games, he lost his wicket early in the first game, but in the last game, the wickets were falling around him. But even then, he allowed Heinrich Klaasen to do what he needed to do.
Yeah, we're back after drinks, and the first delivery of Harsha Patel was played out to cover by David Miller. The second delivery into Klaasen, he just works this one off his pad, past the man at short fine leg, all the way to the boundary for 4. Good start after drinks for the Proteas. They have to go at some clip here, almost 12 runs to the over, to try and successfully chase the score down and take this series today 3-0. So a lot still to do, but they're 2 most informed batters in the series so far together.
Quibus is saying to Mpo that he doesn't think Markram Markram being in doesn't mean Temba needs to be out.
No, I hear you.
On the pads of Klaasen, he fails to make contact with it, but it does come off the patch to the man at fine leg. And they go through for a single. That takes Klaasen score up to 11 of 10 deliveries. David Miller's on 2 of 3. South Africa 69 for 4.
Harold Klaassen just making sure that when the selectors select that World Cup team, he is front and center.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
doesn't
looked
wanna be
very
left
good so
out.
far in the series. I think it's all come down to he had a fantastic season for the Titans and then also continued on with SAA. Just showing the domestic system isn't as weak as some people might believe it to be, as David Miller works it out. 2 deep square leg for another single, South Africa on 70 for 4.
Ray PMB saying he likes the word accumulator more than anchor. Maybe anchor is a better word for test cricket. We'll leave it to the boys in.
Well, England are playing
white
without
clothing.
anchors right now. England are
Yeah,
scoring runs without anchors. They don't need anchors in Test cricket.
the Brendan McCullum and Ben Stokes captain influence, right?
No, but I think even
no
under,
room for anchors.
But even think under Bayless or the other ones, they would have gone for this. Like, who
Yeah,
wouldn't want
potentially. Short of length, just worked out too long on for a single. Yeah, so England
even
is
without
chasing down
Test
that score from New Zealand, but New Zealand yesterday batted a bit recklessly, threw their wickets away, and they got themselves into a situation where England now in all likelihood win. They only require a further 21 runs. Ben Stokes is still at the crease, 61 of 62.
Yeah, but I think even if you look at our Test side, if you had 299 with 2 sessions and a bit, having guys like Markram at the top of the order who plays well in T20s, and Rassie having the ability to be able to accelerate once he feels he's in, why not? Why not go for it?
Definitely. And
Let's
they
take
needed
Markram
4 and
out
over
the
on what
Test side,
is a
please.
pretty flat pitch as well. Slower ball from Arsha Patel. David Miller too early into it, and he lobs it out to the man at cover, and he is taking a crucial wicket for India.
Good
A
catch.
big blow for the Proteas as their most in-form and crucial batter is dismissed, and that means that Wayne Parnell will be coming to the crease very early on. South Africa 71 for 5 after 11 overs, 9 overs to go, and a target still 109 runs away. One of those lethal slower balls from Arsha Patel.
Well, this is not, guys. We were going to lose a game once in a while, or we are going to lose a clump of wickets in a row once in a while. So
lose the 5th game when we've won the series 4-0. Let's lose the 5th game. Don't mind.
No, we're going to win the
this
next
game.
2. Don't worry. But no, this game's not lost. Pawnee's a top order batter for his franchise, and he's worked on his batting over the past couple of years. So this
shows how weak the Cobras are. I'm just gonna throw that salt.
Well,
into that
what about the
mix.
other teams? Because he's scoring hundreds against the other teams.
Yeah. I just want leave me have my salt, please. Why? Why? Why do you have to come with your logic
now
and
making
sense?
80 of 30 odd deliveries for the VP Blitz last season. I remember him striking sixes all over the place.
Wasn't it against the Division 2 side?
I can't remember against what side it was. It was in that knockout cup, so it's possibly
Young
true.
Herschel America taking wickets. Same vibe. Get him in the
I'd
squad.
love to see a lot more of him. I'd love him to get into a Division 1 side so that we can see him on TV a lot more as Akshar Patel will continue over the wicket to Heinrich Klaassen, just sort of laying fire into him. He only manages to work this one out to cover for no run. He's on 12 of 12. Wayne Parnell is just joining him at number 7, and after that, it's the rest of the bowlers.
Some comments coming in here. Ray says, wait, where am I going?
Full on leg stump. Klaassen goes for a little sweep, a bit too full to sweep. Akshar Patel is pleading with his captain to go for the review. Danish Karthik is asking him to go for the review. They will go for the review. It looked to be sliding down the leg side, but we will wait for the confirmation from DRS.
I think Akshar needs the ball to straighten a lot. But Ray says, accumulator is a bit of a luxury knowing that 72% of the time boundary hitting wins games, and banking on Miller to finish more than 3 out of 10 games is too much to ask for. But this team has been averaging 100 and think they can win games. So my thing is, this team can win. This team has shown us, as we look at the Ultra Edge, this team has shown us that they can win games when they set about 150, 160. And they do that even with accumulators in the side, with Rassie taking his time and doing all these things. So I would bank on that. And it's largely based on Boucher's on Boucher's strategy. If Brendan McCullum was the coach, we wouldn't have accumulators, unless if you have like I think Kane Williamson in New Zealand, because they wouldn't drop him.
Yeah, true. That last delivery did, in fact, go down leg side as we thought. Floated up into the slot. Klaassen helps himself to a big 6 over long on, exactly in his arc, as we saw what he managed to do in that last match. He just continues where he left off. He moves up to 18 or 14 deliveries, and as long as he is still at the crease, this game is not over.
That was too full from Akshaw.
Great response, though, by Klaassen. Can always
But
rattle you
again
when there's a
floats it
shout
but pulls it
upstairs.
very wide. And the umpire decides to not call it a wide, though it did seem touch and go. Klaassen not too happy about that decision.
That's a home team decision.
Come on, the double wide.
The momentum
Akshaw
purchase of beaten
Patel in
Ireland.
again around the wicket to Heinrich Klaassen, who places one out. 2 sweeper for a single. 1 ball to go in the over. South Africa are 78 for 5.
So the momentum purchase of beaten Ireland. They chased down a score of 213 for 8 or 50 overs. They chased it down 217 for 1 in 38.4 overs, winning with 9 wickets and 68 balls to spare. # we are more.
Good to see Andre Steyn stepping up there for the momentum Proteas. Full on off stump, just defended back down to Akshay Patel for no run for Wayne Parnell's first delivery. South Africa 78 for 5 after 12, still requiring a further 102 runs of 48 deliveries.
Yeah, I think that's probably it for Tasman Brits in the side. I think we'll see her again in colours, even though she is a contracted player, but I don't think she'll be in the 11.
Yeah,
Who's in
I agree.
Paul Mutlane's momentum Proteas test side? Now I'm asking the hard questions because there is a test side coming up. There's a test game, test match.
Okay.
I'll eventually get there. Write it down and then tell us when you're ready.
Okay, let me do that.
Yeah, pen and paper, please.
Just
quickly.
Just also answer Quibus's question while we're at it.
Okay.
Who do you guys think will be the top 6 at the World Cup?
Okay. He says Temba Quinny, Rassie, Markram, Miller, or Klaassen, and then Klaassen Miller. So he's got his set, as Werner calls the next delivery.
It's short outside the off stump, hit in front of a man of sweeper who runs around to cut it off, but they do manage to come back for 2. Moves Klaassen up to 21 of 17. Parnell is yet to get off the mark. I agree with Quibus. That's the most probable top 6.
No, I don't agree with him because I don't think Klaassen's going to play. If Quinny's fit, Klaassen's not playing. That 6th spot will be Pretorius, and we're going to do what we're doing right now against India, with Pretorius coming in as a pinch.
Can be. Worked out to a deep mid wicket for a single by Klaassen.
Has Tristan Stubbs done something wrong, Werner?
I think he had a niggle.
No, he didn't actually. He only went out because Quinny went out. They needed to replace him with 2 players, right?
Yes.
Because Quinny is a keeper and an opener, so that I had to bring Reza
Touché.
in, and I had to bring Klaassen in as well. I've just lost my feed here for a while, so you guys can call the ball by ball.
Okay.
I'm
Dave,
back.
you
It's
do
just a bit of a bit of a replay of the wickets. Nevertheless, Avesh is in again to Parnell, who just drives this away through the offside, but finds a man there in the cover. So a dot ball, 3 runs from the over, 3 balls gone, and South Africa need at least a boundary or a boundary and a half to really give this a good showing. David Miller's dismissal was frustrating, wasn't it, Werner? He just chipped it, really. It was a nothing shot. He removed his hands from the bat, his bottom hand from the bat, and it was all too simple in the end to take that catch. Back live once again, and this one's short, and there's a little bit of chip over the wicketkeeper's head. Rishabh Pant desperately climbing to try and get a hand on that. He doesn't do it. Parnell gets the boundary South Africa look for. He goes to 4 from 3. South Africa now 85 for 5. Short and wide, and it's just a ramp shot, really.
Yeah, it was beautifully played by Wayne Parnell. Yeah, David Miller's dismissal was a bit unfortunate that he went out there, but it shouldn't come as a surprise that slow ball from Akshay Patel anymore. That is his go-to delivery, and so probably should have played that one a bit better.
Right. Avesh, once again, to Parnell. He goes right arm over the wicket, and this is just driven away off the back foot by Parnell. They'll look for 2, but it rattles out harmlessly to, looks like Hardik Pandya. And at nigh on the end of the 13th, penultimate
Just on
delivery.
that Tristan Stubbs point, I'd love to see him play in the last 2 matches. I want to see him get a real go, get an opportunity to bat. Obviously, played that first game, but didn't get an opportunity to bat. So I'd like to see him get that opportunity to do that. It's a required run rate. It's now up to 13 and over.
In again, and this is a Yorker, but squeezed out confidently by Klaasen, and they don't get anything for it. But crucially for South Africa, a wicket is avoided. 13 gone, 86 for 5. Parnell, 5 from 4. Klaasen, 12 from 19. They lost over, bringing 8 runs. South Africa need 94 from 42. Nearly 12 to the over, and Mpho has been thinking hard about his momentum.
I've got it. I've got it. That is time. Okay. Laura Wolfhard at the top.
Yes.
Opening
by herself.
With either Andre
opening both sides.
And Tasman Brits.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm moving because Tasman's a contracted player. I still think we want to give her a chance. Laura Goodall at 3. Dane at 4. Sine Lease at 5. You can swap those 2 around. Chloe Tran at 6.
Okay.
Trisha Chetty's your wicketkeeper at 7. And then you have a bowling attack of Marizan Kapp at 8. Shabnim Ismail at 9. Lefty, Nonkulego Mlaba, the left-arm spinner at 10. And Ayabonga Kaka at 11. That's a team I would like to see play.
I think if you leave out a spinner there, you're asking yourself for a bit of trouble there.
I don't think Chloe Tran's going to be your recognized spinner.
No, she can, offer you something, but you've got to have a set one.
Yeah.
Short, wide cutaway. This will be collected at the D point region. They'll just get 1 for it.
Chloe Tran's going to kill me, but you could take Chloe Tran out, play Brits and Andre Stain and shift the order down. So Sune will bat at 5 with Dane batting at 6.
Can I ask you a question? Doesn't that look a little bit pale, that squad?
Laura is in for you. You've got Mlaba, Ayabonga, Kaka, Shabnim, and Trisha Chetty. So you meet it. You meet all your targets.
Okay. I'm just asking the questions.
Without even...
Vikuma in again, and this one's tucked away off the hips of...
No, one was Klaasen who tucked it away to the boundary, to the mid-wicket boundary for a single. Yeah, that side sounds good to me as well. Marizan Kapp might have a case to bat up a little bit higher in the order.
Or you can move Trisha Chetty above her. But
yeah.
Well, her above Trisha.
Yeah. This one squirts out the outer half of the bat of Wayne Parnell to the cover region again for a single, not picking up the boundaries they require here. That required rate has shot up above 14 to the over now. It's looking a touch out of reach. Klaasen is going to have to do a lot of work here.
Okay, couple of comments here. Ray says Ken Williamson is an ordinary T20 batter, and it hurts that people think he is world class. He isn't. Well, we are told that if you make it into the IPL, you're world class. So that's essentially what some people say.
It is what they say. Klaasen just about works it past that man at fine leg, but he does well to get a hand on it to his left-hand side. They only get a single. 2 balls to go in the over. South Africa 90 for 5 after 13.4. Yeah, things not looking too great here for the Proteas, with David Miller being dismissed early. And a bit of a slow start between Themba Bavuma and Reza Hendricks has left them with too much to do here, even though they did pretty well to restrict India to 179 after they looked to be getting a target of over 200 initially.
My question is, when is Quinny coming back? Another question, Quibus is asking if we'll be following the Women's Under-19 World Cup in Jan next year. I think our answer will be most likely. We will let you know. We still need to figure out how we're going to do it justice, because I think most of it's in Jan, and we've got the men's stuff to do as well. So we will think about it and we'll get back to you.
We'd certainly love to. We're not saying
if someone paid us to. If
Yeah,
someone paid us
absolutely.
for years, it's just we've got the men's stuff that we might be doing as well,
Oof.
and that gets a lot of traction.
Beautifully played by Henrik Klaassen. Almost a Yorker delivery by Bhuvanesh Kumar outside the off stump. He just manages to open the bat face and guide it over the man at point to the boundary for 4. Good way to end off that over. At least 9 runs came off that final over. Still not up to the required run rate, but a little bit of momentum that they require.
Tristan Stubbs looks so young. Oh my word.
Baby face. Absolutely. But this side is full of 30-year-olds, and that's why I suppose he stands out.
Guys, let's
Yeah,
not
and
be ageist.
No. I'm just saying he looks young because the rest of the side is a little bit more mature.
You know, all of them start off without a beard in international cricket. They all start off without a beard.
Then they
Even
realize
Kane
the beard
Williamson
is
started without a beard. Joe Root started without a beard.
Timber
But
as
as they as they play a couple of years, you see the beard coming in, and then it sort of sticks.
So Ray says QDK, Markram, Rousseau, Rassi van der Dissen, Klaassen, Miller, Dwayne, Linda, Shamsi, Nokia, and Rabada is a distant team.
So
I
he's
like that.
he's not outrageous in suggesting Riley Rousseau, who's absolutely done wonders in the blast. So I'm not opposed to that.
So I just have one thing about Markram. Markram can't open in T20s. I'm sorry, guys. He must bat at 4.
Why not Riley?
Largely because of what we've seen in ODIs and T20s and tests.
But also that
I think you put Riley there with Rassi at 3, and Markram at 4.
But
it's also
that side only has 2 players of color.
Yeah, well, you know, it's over a
Shamsi
season,
and
so we're
Rabada.
it's over a season, so we're gonna have a warm-up game where we're gonna just play all the black people you can find because that's the problem about the transformation targets.
Call the game, Werner. I'm gonna get upset if Paul suggests that.
No, but that's the problem about the system.
It's not how it's not how it works, and not how any of this works.
But I don't believe there's any targets in the World Cup, are there?
No, but you have to make it up throughout the year.
True.
So
Klaassen places one out to cover, and they scamper through for another quick single. Singles are not going to be enough to win this game. They still need a further 83 runs of only 34 balls. Both Parnell and Klaassen are going to have to strike it big from here.
No, he scored 70 or 40, so it's possible. But
Not impossible, I agree. A lot better showing from the Indian spinners in this match. They were carted all over the place in the first couple of matches. Just take over ball by ball again, Dave. My feed is giving me some issues.
No worries. Just a bit of a replay there as we saw the scampered single. Back live with you once again. Yuzvendra Chahal, 2 for 15 from his 3.2. 2 singles to start the 15th over. 97 for 5. Parnell on strike. Floated up and he's had a wild waft. And I don't think Rishabh Pant was expecting that one because he completely went the wrong way. And it was.
I don't think Parney was expecting that one to go where it went.
No, not at all. Nevertheless, they get through for some runs. And so South Africa are 1 short of a century. 99 for 5. Nobody expected that to do anything. Back of the hand was the wrong one, and that's why Parnell was hoping for it. It's caught the edge of Wayne Parnell's bat, and that's why Rishabh Pant looked like he just opened a jack in the box.
So here's a question for you guys, right? So this is
Chahal again. This is full and wide, and this is lofted up into the air, but falls safely between 3 Indian players, and Chahal can only look with great disappointment as to why nobody caught that one. 100 for 5.
Yes. So, okay. We'll just wait for the next Chahal ball and we'll talk about this.
No worries. But full-blooded swish there from Parnell. And, expected somebody to get a paw to it or at least
trying to get a move on.
So, 5 from the over so far. Klaassen on strike. He faces Chahal. And this is a wide one. It's lofted high into the air. There are men converging. And that's a simple catch in the end. Chahal picks up his 3rd. India, their 6th. And South Africa are staring down the barrel at 100 for 6.
Yeah, that's exactly what Charles loves to do. He tried the same type of ploy against Dwayne Pertorius, who just left it and got a couple of wides. Klaassen, feeling that there's only one way to go at this stage of the game, looks to go over the offside, but it's out of reach, and it only gets the toe end of the bat. He goes for 29 of 24. South Africa 100 for 6, and it's probably KG Rabada who come to the crease now.
Yes.
Or is it Keshav Maharaj?
No, it's
Rabada
KG.
first.
Okay, that kind of tells you.
The 25. It's the dead giveaway.
So, in looking at the squad from Ray, obviously Temba has to come into the side. My thinking is that the question is between for Riley to make it in is between him, Markram, and Rassie for that spot.
Why can't we be friends and everybody makes it? Does that leave our bowling lineup too short? Too few all-rounders?
It probably does. Because the way he's got it, he's got 5. He's got Klaassen in there, which is
And
a possibility
Quinton.
for you to move him out. Yeah. But I think in normal circumstances, if Bout is looking at Rousseau, it's either between Markram and Rassie. Because when Quinton comes back, we go back to a Simmons. But he could make it in the side. Because obviously the Tristan Stubbs role was for Markram. So yeah, so like I look at that and I'm like, there's two guys that would need to go. Because you're not dropping a captain before a World Cup. That's not happening.
43 matches for Kagiso Rabada as he is now ready to take guard. There's a lot of a hullabaloo just for the last ball of the over. Slip and leg slip, and KG just works it. No, it doesn't get anything on it. It's a wide, so we'll have to bowl it again. A lot of prep for not that much.
Yeah. The other thing is I'd like to see Rassie get a game in the next 6 months. Give him that opportunity that everyone else got.
Oh, okay. There was a bit of a handbrake moment there as Chahal hung onto the ball like an ex-girlfriend who, didn't want to accept that the relationship was over. Right, he's in again, short and hammered away to the onside. He didn't quite connect it as well as he would have liked, did Kagiso Rabada. So he'll retain strike for the start of the 15th. And there's a single there. So 102 for 6, 5 overs remain. South Africa needs 78 to win. And it seems vanishingly small that they will do it.
And they need an over of 20 or more to give themselves a chance. A couple of overs of 20 or more, actually 2 overs of 20 or more to give themselves a chance of winning this game. And South Africa have left it too late. But that's the problem about this. The other side of the strategy is that slow starts may hurt you, especially against those bigger totals. And remember last year we always spoke about the 150, 160 mark, that if a team get put down 170 on us, we struggled, but we didn't at the World Cup. And now we're finding it hard here.
Avesh Khan to begin the 16th. He's bowled nicely, but now he comes right arm around the wicket to KG Rabada, who just has a bit of a swashbuckling shot. There's a quick run there, and they nearly run out KG at the non-striker's end. Just a single, though, so 103 now for 6.
Yeah, you can see we clearly miss Quinny at the top, who can really dominate the power play. If you look at the career strike rates of Reza Hendricks and Temba Bavuma, it leaves a lot to be desired for an opening partnership in the power play. If you're going at the strike rate of 120, you need somebody who can really take it on. And you have Rassie, who generally starts slow as well. So it does make a big difference if you take Quinny out, if you don't have Markram in the lineup. Those are two big men to not have there.
But even then, you can't be losing wickets, and that's the other side of the strategy. The strategy kind of forces you. Remember when Russell Domingo took
in
us
a
to the
game
World Cup?
short and not as quick as Parnell would have liked to have pulled that one well in front of square. He ends up hitting it out too long on, so there's just one there.
Yes, remember when Russell Domingo took us to the World Cup? He always was talking about keeping wickets in the first 15 overs of an ODI. It's that type of a situation. You can't go to over 15 more than 3 down. If you're more than 3 down before over 15, South Africa will likely lose. And it's not even about
once again, and another swashbuckling type shot from Kagiso Rabada, and it just finds the man at mid-wicket in the ring, so there's no run there.
because this team has shown you that even with poor starts, they can chase down 200. So it's just one of those situations where, it's wickets for the South African team are more important than actually runs.
Right. Spinners today for India just been brilliant compared to the first two games. Chahal only going at 5 to the over, and Akshar Patel going at 7. This one is short. Keji stepping to the onside. It's just chipped over the man at mid-wicket. He tried to dance his way to the leg side to try and pull it over that mid-wicket, and nearly a fingertip catch there for DK Dinesh Karthik. But Kagiso Rabadi getting 2 in the end. But a valiant effort. His hands on head stuff there from Avesh Khan.
Yeah, so England have won that
game. Oh, congratulations to England taking that series 2-0 so far with the 1 to go. So bit of a dead rubber, but I guess there aren't really any dead rubbers in the Test Championship. Though I think England are way too far behind to compete.
Khan in again. This is a bash of a shot. KG Rabada. It's a standard deliver from him. Just a good-ish length, but KG opening that right foot and that races to the boundary. 4 runs.
Yeah,
good
wonderful.
Shot from KG.
Wonderful shot. And just thinking that Chao got some
75 or 70.
And Chao got some sweet revenge against Heinrich Klaasen today. He's been carted all over the place by Klaasen, but he finally managed to get him out.
Kagiso Rabada bats like an Olympic fencer. That's the vibe I get from him. Round the wicket comes Avesh Khan. He's absolutely hammered that back. Wow. He smoked that ball. Ouch. And I think it's taken the hand of Avesh Khan there. I think he tried to defend himself from being decapitated. Now the physio's just waiting in front of one of the fans in the crowd. No, that's just my little joke. There is actually a fan on the side of the field. So for those who are just joining along via audio, he's absolutely caned that. It's a great stop, but so nearly could have lost his hand. He would have been stumped.
So this win takes England off the bottom of the World Test Championship table.
Hooray!
Having won 25% of their matches.
Yeah, they have lost a lot over the last year, so these 2 wins will do them the world of good for their confidence. Ahead of the series against South Africa is going to be an interesting tussle.
Well, look, this was a basement test match series. New Zealand are 7th and England are 8th.
Yeah, they've both been struggling. It's going to be a good series. I'm looking forward to that Test series against England. It should really be a good one. I think our Pacers are going to enjoy it over there. And I've loved the resurgence of Temba Bavuma in the Test side. The addition of Keegan Peterson, Marco Jansen. There's plenty to look forward to.
Right, Wayne Parnell, he's going to be facing up now. 70 from 24 deliveries. It's just one that's hit into the adjacent strip, and they'll canter away for a single. That will take us to Nelson for 6.
No, I'm not putting up my feet.
You're just not interested.
Are
you just saying you're not interested?
Nah, I'm not superstitious. Arvin says, when we have Faf, Ruto, Brevis, Stubbs, Linda, Esse up for Temba and Riza. Why Temba bowls first every time, especially knowing that there is no QDK and Markram? All this simple thing. No, because they want Faf. People want Faf and Devils in the side.
Short ball pulled away to the onside. And they'll get one. Why don't you just resurrect Pat Simcox for old time's sake?
No, the funny thing for me with Devalt is that apart from those flashy moments, it was an okay IPL. He didn't shine like Markram and the others did.
Yeah. Anyway. Back to the cricket, 112 for 6. Another slow short ball. Parnell pulling this away to mid-wicket. And he'll just get the 113 now for 6. And South Africa seemingly resigning themselves to defeat.
Ray PMB says, South Africa's games of the World Cup at the SCG, the Blundstone Arena, and Optus. SCG and Hobart are high scoring. And Optus is about 170-ish. So yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see what Mark Boucher chooses with the selectors. But I
It's
think
funny that these days that 170 is not considered high scoring anymore.
Oh, bit of room there for KG. Swashbuckled that out, but he's going to be caught. Chahal with another good catch for him. It's out at deep point. He moved to his right-hand side and swallowed it like a fat python. South Africa lose another wicket. 7 down for 113. And there's glum faces on the Proteas bench.
KG's technique is something else, man. Beautiful, beautiful technique. Just unlucky to be
Execution,
caught on
not so. Yeah.
Mm.
Needs that extra bit of power, but it's the slow pitch bowling. Werner spoke about it. It's that slow ball of Patel.
Yeah, he's been
changer.
excellent with that slower ball of him. He's used it to very good effect in the IPL and for India. It's not that I don't think it's not that they don't see it coming, because I mean he bowls it so often. I think it's the revolutions he gets on it. He cuts across it so much that it gets a bit of dip on it, and it really takes all the pace off it as well. So it really still deceives the batters. So he now has 3 for 20 for Dash Harsel Patel. South Africa are 113 for 7. Temba Bavuma was gone early for 8 of 10 deliveries. Riza Hendricks 23 of 20. Dwayne Pertorius came in as a pinch hitter again, 20 of 16. Rassie van der Dussen 1 of 4. Klaasen 29 of 24. David Miller 3 of 5.
Tell in
Wayne
again,
Parnell
this is on the
40.
hips of Parnell, who plays this like me chasing a mosquito at 3 a.m. So they just get one for it.
Johnny Bester, 136 of 92.
The man has had a resurgence in Test cricket.
7 sixes.
Yes.
But it shows how backing a player actually makes a difference.
Yeah.
Because I don't think many other coaches would have backed Johnny Bairstow to be in that side as a batsman exclusively.
Well, I think he was outside of Root, he was a little bit more consistent than the rest of them. Like the one I'd be worried about is Ollie Pope, who I think is walking down the same line that Aiden's walking down.
Oh, it's a full toss. It's maybe a no ball. I'm not quite sure. I mean, it looked well above waist height, and Keshav just fending that one away. I'm surprised that hasn't been given a no ball for height. Nevertheless, he gets a run from his first delivery. Heck of a welcome to the crease.
Yeah, in terms of that test between England and New Zealand, it's not often you get to see a positive result after both teams have scored over 500.
Yeah,
in
I
the
was
first
thinking
innings.
it was going to be a draw.
Yeah, it's just the tempo they batted at, and I think New Zealand did themselves in yesterday. They threw a lot of wickets away, and they gave England basically the opportunity to chase this one. And just over 4 and over on a flat pitch was always going to be very inviting to England, and they ended up going at 6 to the over. I mean, Johnny Bairstow going at a strike rate of 147 in a Test match to make 100 is some going.
Yeah, so for me, when I looked at that yesterday when it was like day 4, and I was sitting there going, okay, somebody needs to make a play. And I thought New Zealand wanting to win the series, they needed to try and make a play with the bat. And so they had to go for it and be not as aggressive as England, but be aggressive-ish to give England something that was enticing. And it just fell apart. Obviously, I know Graham would always love when he was captain to make sure that he never loses a game. He'd rather
Avesh
draw.
Khan, foolish delivery here. It's driven hard down the ground. There's a great bit of fielding there to cut it off to prevent what looked like a certain boundary, and they'll only get 2 for it.
He'd rather draw than actually, go outright and be aggressive for a win. And that's what I think New Zealand found themselves in a pickle yesterday, because they're chasing the series. They need as many points as possible. And this is what you're probably going to get with the World Test Championship is teams batting in the third innings, going for it and falling because of that. I know Quibus says Ollie Pope made 130 plus in the last innings, and he's doing really well so far. But before this Test series, he was the one guy I think I was surprised to see back in that England side. But
and again, it's popped up. It's helped on its way towards that long on position where Maharaj will only get one. It looked very enticing, but not really getting the timing nor the power required. 62 from 16, and this game is done, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
What do you
Ali,
think?
I want to.
Mhm.
I want to ask a probing question. Brendan
Sure.
McCullum's success, good, yes, good for English cricket and good for red ball cricket in general. How much do we read into it that the fact that he's a Kiwi and this is a series win against the Kiwis? This one is squeezed out to backward point and they race through for a single, just the one there.
But remember, the New Zealand we played is the same team. I like the apart from
Different
that one
conditions.
game. Oh, aren't they?
And also, I mean, you know, the value of a Kiwi behind the scenes, surely that's got to pay dividends in some way.
No, but the other
119 for 7.
well, yes. Well, yes, and that's what I thought.
Aveshin again, full toss, lapped away, but only finds a man at the ring there. No run. DK doing the fielding, still 119 for 7.
But them England chasing this total down has been part of their DNA for a while. This super aggressive England is not different. They just needed to find guys who could actually bat. They just needed to get this team and restructure it. No, I'm just saying. Remember when they in the Ashes when Ben Stokes went buck wild and Jack Leach scored the world's most famous one.
Avesh Khan, this is full toss and lofted out towards that cover boundary. Not effective in terms of its prettiness, but wow, it's hauled away. It's 6.
That was some stroke by Keshav Maharaj. A nice juicy full toss, and he managed to just free his arms and went all the way 76 meters over the cover boundary for 6, and well taken by the man just outside the boundary. I don't know if we will call him a ball boy, but he has
Maybe
taken
one of the
it.
groundsmen.
Yeah, it could be. It could certainly be
I
one of the
stand
groundsmen.
corrected. That was a very good shot. Beautiful. Sorry, it just the naked eye. It looked like he was like fending at it almost.
But isn't that
Right.
like the type of shot you expect from Keshav?
Absolutely. This one is
Okay.
full and wide this time. Hauls this away to the offside, hoping to hit rather to the onside. Nevertheless, just getting a single. And at the end of 18, South Africa 126 for 7.
Yeah. Ray PMB says, can't wait to see Ravi Reddy telling Baba Azam is the best T20 batter. Laughing face. But the whole Ollie Pope experiment for me, Quibus, is that it's a lesson in backing somebody. And that person actually feeling secure and actually scoring runs. And I thought that they had backed Ollie Pope a little bit too long, especially in that year where everybody. The other guy I was worried about was Creepy Crawley, Zach Crawley. I was wondering why he was doing there.
I'm still not convinced by Crawley as an opener. Maybe in the middle order, but not as an opener.
But we tend to give young players a little bit more rope than the guys who've been in the system for a little bit longer. Hence the calls for Rassie, who's played like I think 15 or 20 games less than Aiden Markram, being the first man to be pushed out of the test side, rather than people questioning whether Aiden should go, even though he's been there a little bit longer. So it's one of those situations where, for me, I didn't think Ollie Pope or Creepy Crawley would be in that England side. I was just surprised to see them there. But
Uvi Kumar with his last over, and it's a slow ball bouncer and just a handsome swish at it by Maharaj, but nothing connects, and it goes through to Rishabh Pant. 126 still for 7, unchanged score.
Yeah, they really do back Ollie Pope. I love the look of him when he played here in South Africa when he made that gorgeous 100 against us. But he did then go off the boil for quite a while, averaging in the 20s. But I think it's easier, as you said, to back a youngster, especially if he's averaging 50 in first-class cricket.
Bhuvaneshwar Kumar forcing Maharaj down the wicket. It's popped up high in the air, and a regulation take for Dinesh Karthik at a short third man. South Africa lose their 8th. 126
so,
for 8.
as Corbett says, Crawley's 267 he made is living rent-free in England selectors' heads, which is true. And it's an anomaly with a lot of these things. So, but look, I thought we'd see a slightly more aggressive English team, like from a batting perspective, because they no longer cared, or based on what he wanted, which everyone thought was this aggressive style of cricket. But Because it seems to me England's reliant on Johnny and Ben Stokes to bring that aggression, while everyone else needs to bat around Joe. But even then, only in this series has it clicked a little bit. So maybe Brendan McCullum's actually doing a lot of work behind the scenes to get these guys clicking.
Right, time for South Africa's night watchman to come to the wicket, Arich Nokia, in a T20 game. He's more known not for his night watchman skills, but rather his pace bowling. A man who regularly bowls 150.
Night watchman in T20 because he's batting at 3 now.
First ball smashed away. Wayne Parnell, he nearly decapitated the umpire. What a shot, sir!
It's a really good shot there from Wayne for 4 over the top.
What a shot. He's absolutely hammered that. The poor umpire nearly, in those cowboy movies, as you watched as a child, maybe one of those where they shoot the head off of the villain or the hero. That very much felt like that. What a response to the wicket. Nevertheless, Bhuvi Kumar, 4th ball of the over to Parnell, who slices this away to the offside, and then they meander through, dawdle through for a single.
Last game, I said on the Edges and Sledges podcast that I think South Africa is the best T20 team in the world, and they have gone and proven me wrong. I shouldn't have said anything. I jinxed it.
Yeah. For somebody who doesn't believe in jinxes, 131 for 8. You eat your words, sir.
But I think they are.
A spoon and a bowl, not a fork and a knife. A spoon and a bowl.
I think they are. I really do.
Right. Nokia to face his first ball, and he launches this in his mind well away, and it will be run out summarily.
Oh no!
In his mind, he'd hammered that to Timbuktu, didn't get anything, and was caught like an indoor cricketer at the wrong end, and the distance is a lot further away in outdoor cricket. Let me tell you, friends.
The only batter who's going to hit it to Timbuktu with an arm guard is Kagiso Rabada. So I think Anrich Nortje was hoping for a bit too much there.
That run out was a reverse reincarnation of the 1999 run out.
No, why? Why are you going to bring up? No, why? Why do you have to bring up such games? No, Paul. There's no need to ever do that. Why? Like
that's what I thought when I saw it.
No, that's unnecessary. I mean, there's verbosity, and then there's just like. No, that's like a trigger. Like, how can you say that? No, I don't even know what to say. Tabraiz Shamsi comes to the wicket, 131 for 9, and South Africa have 7 balls left, legitimate deliveries to survive this game. It's his 50th game, is Tabraiz Shamsi. He's only ever scored 4 runs in his career, so not really breaking the bank in terms of runs scored in this format, but it's not like he gets an opportunity to bat all that often.
Interesting enough, Rabada and Wayne Parnell have the same amount of matches. They've both played their 43rd match today.
Right, Bhuvi Kumar through to Rishabh Pant, and that is the end of the 19th. South Africa 131 for 9, and this is just going to be
we need
a formality
49 in 6 balls.
Mathematically,
a couple of no balls.
And why?
Come on, what's that full? Is it Phil Tufnell? Daryl Tuffy? An over for New Zealand, I think, against Australia in a one-day game where I think he bowled like 7 wides or something ridiculous like that. I'm digging right at the bottom of the barrel, Paul. I'm scraping the wood, taking pieces of the wood at the bottom of the barrel to try and help us. The fiber, the nutritious fiber at the bottom of the barrel.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. There we go. So Harshal Patel is going to be the man to close things off. He's got 3 for 25 from his 3, and Indian bowlers have bowled so very well today. 3 for Patel, 3 for Chahal, 1 for Aksar Patel, and now 3 for Bhuvanesh. Well, I don't know why that says 1 on our scorecard. He certainly has more than that. He got 2 in that over. Nevertheless, first ball up in the air. There's an opportunity for a catch. There he does. That's the game.
Golden Duck
it's a pleasure
his 50th match.
Game. That is quintessential number 11 stuff. Great game for the Indians. It's 2-1. And like a football score, this game is not done yet. This series, let's put it that way.
Yeah, congrats to India winning by 48 runs, 49 runs, 48 runs indeed. South Africa still leading the 5-match series 2-1, but
Yes.
comprehensive victory by India. They were dominant at the beginning with the bat. South Africa pulled it a bit back with the ball right at the end, managing to restrict them to 179. But from there, India dominated with the ball all the way. South Africa just never really managed to get going. Both openers struggling at the top to really get going. They were runnable throughout the power play. And David Miller losing his wicket early on in this innings also cost us dearly.
Yes. So let me just go through the scorecards for both teams. India had scored 179 for 5. Ruturaj Gaikwad had a 97-run partnership with his opening partner Ishan Kishan, 57. He scored before he was caught and bowled by Maharaj. The next batter out was Shreyas Iyer at the score was 128 for 2. He was out for 14. Bowled Shamsi caught Nokia. And then Ishan Kishan was out for 54. 3 runs later, 131 for 3. He was out for 54. He was caught. Reza Hendricks bowled Dwayne Pertorius, 54 of 35. Gaikwad's 57 was 35 as well. Next batter out was Captain Rishabh Pant, 143 for 4. He was out 6 for 8 off the bowling of Pretorius, caught by Captain Bavuma. The next batter out was Dinesh Karthik for 6 of 8. He was bowled. Rabada caught Parnell. Scores 158 for 5. The 2 batters left out there were Akshar Patel, 5 of 2. And Hardik Pandya, who I think should make it into this 11 for India at the World Cup, scoring 31 of 21 balls. They set South Africa 179 for 5. The bowling efforts, Kagiso Rabada, 1 for 31. Dwayne Pertorius, 2 for 29. Chabre Shamsi, 1 for 36. And Keshav Maharaj, 2 overs, 1 for 24. There were other bowlers, but if you didn't get a wicket, I'm not gonna say anything.
You don't deserve it. Shame for you. You just get shame.
Well, Parnell went for 8 runs and over, and Anith Nokia went for 11.5. South Africa were chasing down 131. Temba Bavum was out first on the score with score 23. He was out for 8 of 10 balls. He was caught. Avesh Khan bowled Akshar Patel. He really did struggle there. Reza Hendricks, he was out for 23 runs off 20 balls. The score was on 38. Harshal Patel, the bowler there, caught Yuzvendra Chahal. Next batter out was Rassi van der Dissen 2 runs later. He only could make a 1. He was bowled Chahal, caught Rishabh Pant, caught behind by Rishabh Pant. Yes, and then Dwayne Pertorius went in the same manner as Rassi van der Dissen, caught behind. He scored 20 for his 16. He came in at number 3, and the score was 57 for 4. And then the wickets just kept on tumbling. David Miller went out 70 on score in 71. He scored 3 of 5. He was bowled. Patel caught Ruturaj Gaikwad, leaning edge straight to the field at extra cover. Heinrich Klaasen was the next man out. We thought the heroics could bail us out, but they didn't. South Africa was on 100 when he went out, 29 for 24. Chahal was the bowler. Akshar Patel, the catcher there for Heinrich Klaasen. Kagiso Rabada was out for 9 of 8, caught off the bowling of Harshal Patel. He was caught by Chahal. Keshav Maharaj followed soon, 13 runs later. He scored 11 of 8. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar getting his wicket and caught by Dinesh Karthik. Anurag Nokia got himself run out in a reverse 99-esque type of run out. Sorry, Dave. Between him and Pant and Kumar. And then Tabraiz Shamsi in his 50th match was out for a duck. Caught Avesh Khan bowled Harshal Patel. The chief destroyer for India, Harshal Patel, 4 for 25. Yuzvendra Chahal, 3 for 20. And Akshar Patel, 1 for 28. Bhuvi Kumar, 1 for 21, and it is 4. And Avesh Khan, no wickets for 35 runs. South Africa lose that match by 48 runs. And India claw back some semblance back into the series. It is 2-1 to South Africa. And South Africa still sitting on series point. Can they win it in the next one? We'll find out. Please join us in the next time. I think it is Thursday. The next T20 will be with you then. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Vanna. Thank you to everybody else who's been with us today and commentated, and thanks to everyone who's brought through all their comments and sent through the things. The next T20 is on Friday. I beg your pardon. Thanks, guys, for doing that. Outside of that, it's goodbye and good night and lesale kakahiso.